We are going to do a deep dive. And I see we've got a lot of people on here, a couple hundred people on here already. And I'm telling you guys, I know the audience that we've got a broad base of people here, but I can tell you by and large, we've got an audience of internet marketers or people who want to be internet marketers or people who have been internet marketers and the shit's just not working anymore the way it used to, and they're wondering what the hell is going on. So we're going to take an extremely deep dive tonight, and I promise you, I don't care how much you think you know about stuff. I don't care how much you've heard me speak in the past. You are going to learn some mind-blowing shit tonight. I have some stuff to show you, some connections that you have not made. I promise you, you haven't heard anywhere. World is changing right in front of your face, and you're not seeing it. So I'm sounding the warning bell. What I'm talking about is surviving, not just surviving, but thriving in the coming economic reset. It is coming. You guys have been hearing preached about for a lot of years. Here's the thing, though. I'm gonna get across to you guys tonight in one way or another, and that's that this economic reset may not be negative. I don't know, it doesn't necessarily have to mean a crash and an entire Mad Max scenario we end up in. That's certainly one of the possibilities, but I don't really see that as being the case, and I'll explain that to you tonight. And most importantly, what we're going to be doing is talking about doing business in the post-Google world. Yes, post-Google world. And I don't mean in a matter of like years or like whenever we're old and decrepit and we're teaching our grandkids, hey, how do you feel about the post-Google world? No, I mean in 2018, a post-Google world emerging. In fact, the post-Google world is already here. There's already trillions of dollars flooding into the post-Google marketplace already, and you guys are not even getting any of it. None of it. You guys would think you're getting some of it by playing around with Bitcoin and all that happy horse shit. Congratulations, you scratched the surface of what's going on. All right, let's get into this. Let's learn some stuff. First of all, I want to express some extreme gratitude for you guys. I know it's a random Tuesday night, and I know some of you are in other countries. I know it's late for some of you. And I just wanted to honor that and thank you for showing up and putting your time in here to listen to my opinions about things. I have a lot of gratitude for that. I appreciate that, so thank you. I promise you, I will not let you down. So here we go. Pay attention, guys. I got a lot of stuff to cover, so shut off Facebook, shut off your TV, shut off any distractions, because you are going to want to be taking screenshots and shitloads of notes. And I'm going to fly through years and years and years of content here in however long this takes me. So there's a lot to cover, and if you're distracted, you are going to miss some stuff. You miss some stuff. Some of the stuff I talk about later in this presentation is not going to make any sense. It all builds upon each other. So if you're late to this thing, I'm sorry, but take some notes, guys. Get ready for some screenshots as well. First of all, let's start with a disclaimer. This is a social experiment in creating new paradigms in small business customer engagement, aka the future. None of this training is legal advice. I'm not an attorney. I'll never be a fucking attorney ever. Seek your own legal representation, and no expectation of profit is alleged in any of this. And by now, you probably surmise already that I let some curse words fly once in a while. So potty mouth warning, fair warning, adult language is already happened. I really try not to curse a lot, but man, I am passionate, and I've got a message to get across to you guys. And if I got to drop an F-bomb here and there to emphasize a point, to shake you out of your fucking slumber, that's what I'm going to do. It's purposely done. And some of it's passion, some of it's, you got to wake up. It's time to move. The world is shifting and you're missing it. So don't get offended by a couple little four-letter words. Grow up. Yes, there are shithole countries in the world. Haiti fucking sucks. Nobody wants to be in Haiti. It's the ridiculousness of our world that we live in. So this is not a kids or family-friendly conversation we're about to have, guys, because we're going to uncover some very deep geopolitical stuff going on in the world that's connected directly to your pocketbook. And this stuff that's going on is heavy duty stuff, very adult things, as you're going to see very soon. So I got to put some F-bombs in there to shake it up. So fair warning. So what am I talking about when I talk about post Google? I'm talking about two cases I'm going to lay out tonight, two concrete cases, like irrefutable almost. I'll say almost, because you never know what's going to happen in the world. In the end, all this stuff is my opinion, but there's a whole lot of evidence to support what I'm backing up here. Two concrete cases where Google ceases to matter or maybe not even exist. And I'm not talking about years from now. I'm talking about in 2018, like within weeks, months on the outside. Within 3 years, Google is irrelevant, guys. I'm telling you, I know the audience I'm talking to, a lot of you guys have leveraged your internet marketing business on SEO and paid traffic and AdWords and all these sort of things that tie into Google. Wake up. There's a reason why paid advertising in Google got so fucking hard to do. We're going to get into that. If you think it won't happen, think Google's the behemoth and untouchable, well, here's just a few pieces of evidence I can submit to you. Remember RCA? RCA should have been Apple, Facebook, Google, all of them wrapped up into one. At one point in the world, RCA kind of ran everything. They were like the Google, Facebook, Apple of its time. Google was so far ahead, or RCA was so far ahead of itself, it was making cables and things that nobody had even thought of. And to this day, you go to Best Buy or wherever you're going to go to buy cables called RCA cables. Talk about a coup on branding. Everybody calls this certain kind of cable an RCA cable. That's a company. But guess what? RCA was in place to take over the freaking world electronically. Why? Because they have the most valuable yet worthless patents. Number one piece of evidence I submit to you, they had probably the most valuable patent in the history of the world so far. What was that patent about? The patent is about displaying things by putting dots on a screen. I'll say that again. They have a patent on using dots on a screen to draw patterns, pictures, images, text, whatever. In other words, everything that we use in our daily lives. Here's the problem. Why is that patent worthless? You think you would love to have that patent, right? Because the way patent law works, you can't just selectively go after people that are infringing on your patent. You have to go after everyone who's infringing on your patent. Guess what? Everybody every hardware manufacturer in the world and every person sitting in their house is doing anything with dots on the screen. Even if you create your own little display out of whatever, you're violating their patent, but they have to sue basically everybody in the world, and it's not feasible. It won't ever happen. So that their patent was rendered worthless by change, and they didn't pivot. They should have been able to run everything. Apple shouldn't exist. It should be RCA. They messed up. Motorola, same thing. They were a leader in television and mobile before anybody. They didn't pivot. They messed up. They didn't see the changes in the marketplace. Nokia, same with mobile. And they were the first out there texting. I was in Ireland in 1999. Wait, it was 2000. Year 2000, I was in Ireland. And I saw a girl on a subway doing, not subway, they don't even have subway, it's train, whatever, you guys get it. It was on the DART, the Dublin Area Rapid Transit. I was on the DART going into Dublin. And I saw this girl in the year 2000. She was doing something on her mobile phone, typing some things out, and it was text messaging. It was the first time I'd seen it. Nokia owned that space. What happened to Nokia? Look at them, they didn't pivot. AOL. You guys should know the story of AOL. I don't care how old you are. AOL came and went. They were everything. They were the first search engine. They were the first portal to the internet. Why aren't we still using AOL for everything? How did Google come up and supplant them? How did Facebook come and supplant them? AOL was there way before Facebook. I mean, they were the first social network, AOL was. The first search engine. You know why? They didn't pivot. Yahoo, same thing. Yahoo had a chance to buy Google. I think it was in 1998. They had a chance to buy Google for $1 million. They turned it down. Whoops. Now Yahoo is worthless, and Yahoo's going to be dead in a couple of years. It's barely alive now. IBM's still around, still a powerhouse, but guess what? IBM's another company just like RCA. They should have been Apple. They should have been the Microsoft. Instead, they let Apple and Microsoft steal their technology. You know, Steve Jobs and Bill Gates both stole almost all of their so-called innovations from IBM. Yeah. The display of software and things in a window on a computer screen, Windows, or the basis behind the original Macintosh, showing in the Windows graphical user display. Yeah, invented and developed by IBM. The mouse, invented and developed by IBM, yet stolen and acted like it was their technology by both Bill Gates and Apple. IBM was there, they messed up. Now IBM is barely an infrastructure company. They're still huge, but they had to pivot, and they're third, fourth, fifth tier player at best, when they should have been, you know, Apple, which is the most valuable company in the world. Blockbuster, you guys all know the story of Blockbuster. Guys, I could go on, you get it. The history is full of examples of big companies who turned evil and didn't pivot or whatever, all kinds of things that they didn't pay attention and lost their footing. So earlier last year, 2017, I can say last year now, I pointed out some hot niches. This is early 2017. Game Master, which really hasn't come to fruition yet. I was wrong there, wrong so far. But ICO, people weren't talking about ICOs much, except in the ICO crypto space at the beginning of 2017. It became hot overnight. Cryptocurrencies, augmented reality, solar, and AI, all of those, what I told everybody to do, and I did this presentation, a presentation similar to this a year ago, I said, go get as many domain names as you can find around these particular things. And people were sending me messages, bragging about how they got hundreds of these easy to get domains for, you know, $8, $10, whatever they paid for it, normal registration fee. Now, try to go get some of those domain names in this space now. Good fucking luck. I'm telling you guys, stuff is shifting. So that's fine and dandy. Those are all still great niches, but it's the competition stepped in, and now it's in our consciousness now. But we're in 2018. It's a year later. I have a lot more hot niches that I'm going to show you at the end of this webinar. So stick around, and you're going to see the next list of these. And guess what? None of the stuff that's in there is in that next list. These are all still kind of valuable markets, but I'm just showing you this is what's possible, guys, because whenever this was going on, I'm telling you, especially in augmented reality and the cryptocurrency space, I know friends that just went and bought domain names because I told them from a presentation, and now some of those domain names are being sold for $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. No joke, all over the place. I went and personally bought hundreds of these domain names when I thought about it before the presentation. It was amazing, some of the stuff that's available. To pay attention. Pay attention. Coincidentally, you know why I say pay attention all the time? Because people pay attention when you say that. So pay attention. So why did crypto boom in 2017? Well, I could list off all kinds of reasons. Here's the institutional learning kind of reasons. Decentralized money. I'm not going to do a whole Bitcoin thing on this. You guys should know by now what this is about. If you don't wake up, man, you are behind. So with decentralized money, it's peer-to-peer, send to anyone anytime. It's sound money. It's secure, semi-private, mostly private. Universal payments, no counterfeits. It solves merchant account problems, and it's programmable money. Those are all great things, but here's the real reason that Bitcoin boomed and all crypto boomed. Trust. It's the same reason Donald Trump's in office, the same reason the Brexit's happened, the same reason you're seeing all kinds of protests around the world and huge economic sweeps. I'm going to show you a lot of this tonight. We as a human race are craving trust. That's it. That's really all it boils down to, trust. I'm explaining like what that means and how you're going to capitalize on that going forward, because you take this one slide. I mean, it's going to sound ridiculous because just one word, but I can tell you, once you understand the context of this one slide is all you need to make as much money, to have as much impact as you want for the rest of your life. Just because we've had over a century I can make the case very easily. We've had a century, 100 years of lost innovation because of centrally controlled monetary systems and centrally controlled patents and innovations that have stifled this country by big corporate America. Not just big corporate America, just big corporate period, international corporations. That's why we lost trust. So let's get into this. So listen up, guys. I got a lot to cover, and we haven't even started yet. So for the, okay, pause. For you guys that don't know me, my name is Matt Trainer. I'm a futurist, and I like the word futurist, and I just consider it philosophy monetized. I think a lot about stuff, a lot. I do tons and tons of crazy research that you guys haven't even thought of yet. I'm going to show you some of that tonight. I'm also a programmer. I've been a programmer since I was 8 years old when my dad first started letting me play around on his little computer, way before the internet existed, way before modems existed. My first computer didn't even have a hard drive. You had to put the little, giant floppy disks in the thing. I remember my dad got a 30 megabyte hard drive for it, and he made a big freaking deal about it. It was like $500 hard drive or something like that. 30 megabytes. It's a big deal. So I've been a programmer since then, and I've been working at a high level of programming and marketing, all kinds of things. I'm a marketer, built a big business on the internet, and a visionary. I see things before they get here. I've been right for my whole life. I've just been able to see trends as they come. So a little bit about me. Some of this is not so great, but I founded my first hedge fund in 2000. Oh, wait, why don't I read my own slides here? Founded my first hedge fund in 1997. Yeah, I'm aging myself a little bit. So, well, I went through the dot-com boom, and we did over 12,000% returns in my hedge fund. It sounds great. It's small by today's standards with the crypto stuff. But back then, I got early on the internet boom. I was there. I was a programmer. I saw it coming. I was already trading in the stock market heavily. I was one of the first out there trading electronically. It was a big deal. I had to buy this goofy satellite dish, this giant thing that I put in my front yard, and set up this thing to connect to the Chicago Mercantile Exchange to a thing called a Globex terminal. Slow down, man. Globex terminal. All right, I'm done with that word. I used to trade in the Chicago Mercantile Exchange electronically, and shoot, that was in the mid 90s. There's stuff. I was there early, and I saw the whole internet boom happen. And I was on it, made tons of money. And then the dot-com bust happened in 2000 that started it. And that ended up me spending 2.5 years in federal prison because I listened to the wrong people, took some bad advice from some money managers, and my entire hedge fund cratered, partially because of the dot-com bust, but mostly because I didn't have somebody like me sounding a warning flag to you guys. I got into the dot-com boom. I was young and dumb, slinging around millions of dollars and thought I knew everything. And I'm seeing the same thing happen with all these young guys trading Bitcoin now. The shit went straight up when a monkey throwing a dart at a dartboard could have picked any sort of price and made money from it. That takes zero skill. People just rode the wave just like I did in the late 90s. Made tons of money. And it's great and all, but I didn't see the warning signs. I didn't see the warning signs I'm going to get across to you tonight. And I listened to the wrong people who told me, guess what? They told me it's different this time. They told me, oh, it's different this time. The internet changes everything. These companies, like, you won't have to go into a store anymore. You'll just be able to order from online. And that concept didn't even make sense back then, guys. Amazon was just starting, and it was like, oh, you could get books, but wasn't that big a deal back then. It's different this time. It's different this time. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. And I'm telling you, the market forces that drive crypto that made this thing go through the roof, it's not different this time because it's still driven by fear and greed, driven from human nature. That never changes. So because of that dot-com bust and me not paying attention to it, my hedge fund went bust, spent 2.5 years in federal prison from really stupid mistakes. I got out in 2004 and I built a 9-figure, yes, 9-figure online empire since then. mostly from SEO and paid traffic. And I'm happy to report that the people that lost money in my hedge fund, it took me a long time, but I paid them back. Millions of dollars I spent paying back. I didn't have to. I just did it because I felt like it was the right thing to do. And it cost me significantly a big chunk of my life, emotionally, relationships, all kinds of things. So I've been through the ringer with this stuff, and that's why I'm sounding the warning bell, guys. So here's a couple more of my qualifications. Now this part, I'm going to talk about myself a little bit more, but I need to do this so you understand the depth of what I'm talking about with here and the angles that I'm coming at this from. Because when you understand that and you understand my background, you're going to see that, holy shit, I'm seeing things that you guys aren't seeing yet. So in the last couple of years, I've really taken a deep dive into cryptography. I got really interested in that, in elliptical curve cryptography in particular, because that's what drives the, I guess, the technology for blockchain and Bitcoin and all this stuff, elliptical curve cryptography. I got into it, I studied the math of it and found the holes in it. I found out that quantum computing is gonna kill it in a few years. We're already at a point where quantum computers are reaching, we're damn near there at what they're calling quantum supremacy, where a quantum computer can perform the same as a silicon-based regular logic computer we have now, logic-based, straight logic. So that's a deep conversation, but the point here is that this stuff is evolving very quickly, guys, and you're going to see blockchain technology being unwound dramatically in lots of ways. And so also cybersecurity, that's what it all boils down to. Without security and cryptography, none of the cryptocurrency stuff matters. That's what it all boils down to. And then art of currency design, the gamification of money, that's a huge subject all on its own. We're going to talk about a lot of that tonight, because that's the greatest thing I see about the innovation of cryptocurrencies. That's that it got people to start looking at, what does money mean? What does value mean? What does a currency really mean? Those kinds of things weren't really open conversations in normal public stuff just even a year ago. Now people are talking about this. This is high level stuff. I've also dove deep into blockchain development. I've built over 100 of my own blockchains, several hundred of my own cryptocurrencies at this point, both on Bitcoin Core, Ethereum, and on Graphene technologies. I'm also a certified Bitcoin professional, and I do a lot of ICOs. I'm in the middle of launching and consulting on several large ICOs all around the world, several of them deep in the 9 figures that we're doing with these things. So I know what I'm talking about. Here's my certification from the Cryptocurrency Certification Consortium. You can look it up here. I just took the test to see if I could pass it. I don't really need it or anything, but it's a cool slide anyway. You want to go look it up, there you go. So through all of that, a few months ago, I created something called Profit Blocks. It's just a little tool set that we're building, and also an education platform to teach how blockchain is going to change business and how to implement blockchain technologies into your current internet business. And we're going to cover some of the stuff in that tonight, because you got to understand where we're coming from this. But with this, I'm going to talk about Module 6. Now, Module 6, I'm going to pick some peaches out of peaches. I'm going to pick some pieces. Peter picked the peck. I don't know how that goes. I don't know what a peck is. You guys ever look up what a peck is? I did one time. So from Module 6, I'm going to pick some pieces from this and show you, to lay the groundwork for what I'm trying to get at here. So here's the first bit of it. In Module 6, we talk about the state of ICOs, the legal landscape, the state of Bitcoin, reality gamification, the one piece that everyone is missing. You guys aren't thinking about this yet, and you really, really need to be. And of course, SEO crypto mining, which is a giant subject all by itself. We're going to cover all of that. So let's get into the state of ICOs, initial coin offerings. I'm going to cover this very briefly, because this really doesn't have a ton to do with what I'm talking about tonight, but it does at the same time. Because what you're seeing is nothing short of the upending of an entire infrastructure that's ran by the SEC called the IPO. There's an entire industry. I mean, it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry that to take a company public, initial public offering. I've done it a few times. I've been involved in some IPOs and some reverse roll-ups and things like that. And I'm telling you, it kind of sucks. It kind of sucks a whole lot. And because it's a mountain of paperwork and it's just a whole lot of jumping through hoops and dotting I's and crossing T's and ridiculously high legal fees for a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't matter at all. But with ICOs going on now, what that does is it eliminates all that, sort of. But what you're seeing is the ICOs that started out doing kind of going around that kind of thing, they're kind of getting their ass handed to them now. And what you're starting to see, which we're going to cover a lot, is countries around the world banning this, you know, season funds, all kinds of the nasty stuff that you don't want to be involved in. So we're going to cover some of that tonight with specifically countries, and the reason that this chart right here looks so horrible. This is Bitcoin. Look at this, is just today. Whew. We're going to talk about that. You're going to understand why that's happening and not be scared by it. So here's the state of Bitcoin. We'll talk about that right now. So this is just a prediction I made back when I did module 6 several weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I guess, 4 weeks ago, I don't know. Talked about the fake SegWit 2. For you guys that know what that is, I called it. I said it's not going to happen. They're making a big, you know, it got canceled and back in December or whatever. But they were announcing it again and saying it's going to come out January 15th. Well, we're past January 15th and it's nowhere to be found. It's bullshit. It's not going to fix Bitcoin, because here's the problem. What they're trying to do with all this SegWit 2 and Lightning Network and all that stuff you guys that are Bitcoin so-called experts are reading about and circle jerking yourselves about, it's not fixing anything, because all it's doing is replacing. You're trying to replace something that already exists. Here's the point. They want to take this Lightning Network and use something called trusted custodians. Lightning Network would be a blockchain that runs parallel to Bitcoin or any other altcoin, whatever. You can run it on any blockchain-based thing, Bitcoin core style. Sidechain, and what they do is they want to offload confirmations of transactions to that sidechain via trusted custodians. And they want those trusted custodians to be you know, around the world. So it's sort of decentralized, even though it's completely against the term decentralized to have trusted custodians. However, I want you guys to understand something. What's another word for trusted custodian when it comes to financial systems? It's a real simple word. It's called a bank. So what Lightning Network wants to do is set up a series of banks, a centralized or semi-decentralized banking system, the very thing that Bitcoin is trying to replace. It's ridiculous. It's not going to happen. If it does happen, it's not replacing anything. Bitcoin is already failing in lots of ways, and we could talk about that at length, but let's talk about Bitcoin selling off because of China bans. Think that's the case? Is this why Bitcoin is half what it was worth a few months ago, back in December? Today it hit what's the low here? It's hard to see on the screen, but 9,900, guys. It broke below 10,000. So that's half. This thing has been cut in half. Somebody tried to tell me today that's the new normal. What, are you fucking crazy? You don't cut something in half in value and say, oh, that's just normal. It's not normal. That's really not normal. So I'm going to show you guys. There's something underlying this that you're missing. It's critically important that you understand what's going on, because there's been all this talk about in the media. There's basically all the media is a bunch of fanboys who have no idea what the hell they're talking about. But they're saying it's selling off because of China bans. Oh yeah, really? Maybe. You search at China ban Bitcoin mining, you see all kinds of bans going on. Well, if they're banning it, then why did Alibaba just today launch a crypto mining business in China? Alibaba, the Amazon of China. Alibaba, arguably the most valuable company in the world. Alibaba, the supermarket of the world. It's not Amazon, because you know where Amazon gets a lot of their stuff from? Alibaba. This is huge, guys. What they've done is launch a crypto mining business. They're doing it like an Amazon Web Services kind of idea, where you could sign up and what they're calling, I read this article is kind of terrible to explain it, but they're calling it P2P nodes. And here's what's funny. They don't even know what the hell that means. Because P2P is peer-to-peer, means decentralized. It means there's no centralized thing like China and Alibaba in the middle of this. So they're calling it P2P, but here's the funniest part of this whole article. And I verified this is true, but check this out. On the part of Alibaba too, the extension towards the cryptocurrency business is odd, as Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba, has expressed in his distrust of digital coins in multiple public platforms. I'm gonna highlight my cursor here. In an interview last month on CNBC, Jack Ma said, I said honestly, I know very little about it and I'm totally confused. Even if it works, the whole international rules on trade and financing are going to be completely changed. But at the same time, he voiced his trust in blockchain technology. We've spent a lot of efforts on blockchain technology and development. Guys, he's totally confused. Yet they launched a crypto mining business. And I can tell they're confused. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Because I'm going to show you how this whole mining thing is going to implode on itself. And we're going to show you how to fix it too if you guys are miners. Because the mining game is going to die. The whole mining thing is a dead-end road. It makes the whole thing centralized and fail and wastes lots of energy, and it's completely ridiculous. So this is a stopgap thing for other things that are going on. So here's another thing I want to show you. State of Bitcoin. Now, guys, you've seen this. Let's draw up this chart again. Scroll all the way back. Look at this meteoric rise of Bitcoin. Ooh, this is a Bitcoin futures I'm showing here, and this is my overlay that I drew on here. Way up, 20,000 here, and it's already in half of what it was. Fine. All this giant movement, explosion up in headlines everywhere, and now everybody's talking about it, and even all these crypto experts all of a sudden know how to trade it, and they're it's just silly what's going on. But here's what you should notice, guys. This is critically important you understand this. This is kind of the crux of the whole thing here. Why Bitcoin is failing and why something bigger is going to step up and replace it and kick Google's legs out from underneath them, if it hasn't done it already. This is confirmed transactions per day, basically transaction volume of Bitcoin per day. Now, those astute in the chart should notice something already. This is huge, man. This is freaking huge. So think about this for a second. Look at this chart. I'll just give you a little heads up. Look at this. Like, this is today, the transaction volume today versus 1 year ago. This is a year, an entire year. And what has happened in the last year with Bitcoin? Obviously, it's screamed up and everybody's talking about it. It's, the latest, greatest, hottest thing. Yet the transaction volume is exactly the same, damn near exactly the same as it was 1 year ago. How is that possible? That makes no sense whatsoever, especially when you're looking at Coinbase, the largest exchange there is. At their peak, they were opening up 100,000 accounts a day. 100,000 accounts a day, and they're still on a 30,000 account a day clip. So where's all the transaction volume? I know exactly where it is. We're going to talk about that. So a few weeks ago, I posted this on Facebook even, but it was in my course. I talked about this video where Wolf of Wall Street warns about Bitcoin. Well, here's what's interesting about that. So I just did a search just a little while ago, pulled up this image. Wolf of Wall Street warns about Bitcoin. I just wanted to see the date. So December 11th. This is on CNN.com, and then this is on YouTube. The video is on December 11th. What's interesting about that for me is this is my post on December 7th, a few days before that. I said, prediction, Bitcoin will have a blow-off capitulation move up. Then around December 18th, pay attention, same time Bitcoin futures start trading on CME and CVF for the first time ever, we will see first breaks downward on Bitcoin. Basically what I was doing is calling the high. I was saying somewhere around December 18th, that's going to be the high. Look what happened, guys. It's December 17th. I was one day off. I didn't think the high was going to be on the exact day that they opened trading for the CME futures. I didn't think it would be so blatant. I figured I honestly figured they'd wait a day. They didn't. But then 2 weeks later, you see what happened. You know, we had the plunge. But here's why this matters, guys. That's not to toot my own horn or anything. It's to show you that you guys can see this for yourselves. I didn't have any magical inside knowledge. I just paid attention. I'm going to show you how to do this. So 10 days later, after this happened and this 2 week later thing, I had posted about this. Bitcoin is doing exactly as predicted, exactly as Wall Street wanted it to. Pay attention. What do you think I meant by that? Well, I was talking about this right now. The trading opportunity of a lifetime is here. The Bitcoin futures are now a leading indicator of the price action of BTC spot. Guys, leading indicator. You know what a leading indicator means? It means you can tell the future. It's leading the price. You can look at Bitcoin futures and how they trade. I'm not going to show it on this. It's a little too complicated, but you can see it. The spot price versus the futures price, and then what the difference between the two is called Bitcoin futures premium. And that price is what gets traded by arbitrage guys doing high frequency trading on ridiculously complex systems. Some of those I spent 20 years developing, and I'll talk about that in a second. So this is critically important, guys, because what's going on here, the Bitcoin transaction volume and the huge rise in the price in coupling with what I'm seeing as the CME futures being a leading indicator, what's going on here, guys? What you're seeing is no less than a giant crime. This market is being manipulated by the big money bankers of the world, just like they do everything. And the proof is in this chart that's on the screen right here. Because this chart proves without a doubt, you can pull this chart up yourself right now. Just go to blockchain.info and go to the transactions and pull it out to a year. This is a live chart right now. Are you fucking kidding me? You're telling me that the transaction volume in Bitcoin is exactly the same as it was a year ago? Huh. Well, when you watch the price as much as I do, and you've been around the game as long as I have, you've been around the game as long as the Wolf of Wall Street has, you're going to start to realize something, guys. The reason the Wolf of Wall Street was warning about this, and he was right, I don't care what you think of Wolf of Wall Street. Here's the difference between the Wolf of Wall Street and you. That guy rubs shoulders with the biggest power brokers in the world, specifically Goldman Sachs. I mean, there's nothing bigger than Goldman Sachs out there. Even the Federal Reserve kisses Goldman Sachs' ass. You know, Goldman Sachs is old Rothschild's money, like all the conspiracy theories are true. That money came from somewhere, guys. Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs is literally fighting for its survival. It's not just going to let a bunch of dipshit kids that just bought Bitcoin come in and change their entire paradigm and upset trillions of dollar market cap and turn around their entire business so they got to go get jobs. Are you fucking kidding me? Wake up, guys. The world is ran by extremely powerful people who don't give a shit about you and are manipulating this thing like crazy. I put this up here because the CME futures are a leading indicator. How do I know they're a leading indicator? You can see it. You can see the price change and you see the arbitrage dry up. That means the price is going to move, and it moves in the direction they want it to. Look, guys, if you guys remember what happened in the, look at this. Just zooming out. Now, there's a lot of lines on here. It's making a little trouble. See, but remember this? This is December. Bitcoin was going straight up. I mean, it had some down moves in there too, but you remember this, guys. It was just a few weeks ago. It was like Bitcoin is going to 100,000, it's going to 1 million, it's going to 1 billion, whatever. I know people that bought right here at 20,000. Remember this? And that's why I said, pay attention, because on December 18th, when those futures open up, they don't just open up a future contract just because, oh, let's try to make some money off the Bitcoin market. Hell no, guys. There's a huge giant play going on here. You're going to see the proof of it tonight. This didn't conjecture. I just didn't guess this. Look what's happened since then. From this screaming move up, Bitcoin futures opened up, and then the brakes went on. It's been nothing but down and sideways since then. And I've been saying it publicly for a lot of weeks. What's better than going to $1 million per Bitcoin? What's better? Whenever you're able to control markets and get in and out, long and short, long and short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short. The guys that know how to do this with high frequency trading and are way the hell ahead of you and know how to do arbitrage at ridiculously high speed are eating your lunch. They're controlling this marketplace like crazy. I've been calling it for weeks, and I've been right every single time. Here's proof. These lines I drew on the screen, this is not a trading system. It's just something I've noticed about the market, the structure that's involved in it. These lines I drew days and days and days, sometimes weeks in advance. And look, bounces right off of that. Struggles to get below that line here. You see it all over the place. This line right here, guys, was put here weeks ago. Why did the price ride that line all the way down? Why? It was put in weeks ago, days ago at least. And right here, this line, these two lines were put in days ago. I just did it with this mark. I'll show you how I did it. I did this. I did this. Clone. Scoot this up here. Kind of line it up. You don't even have to be that accurate. Clone this line. Go here, and you do it the other way too, with these over here, all the way down. That's not a trading system. It's a structure thing. It's a long conversation, but I'm showing you guys here. Like, I can show you time after time where it came right to that line and bounced off of it, because there's other stuff going on here, but it's just 100% proof that this thing is manipulated. If Bitcoin is this hot thing and all of a sudden everybody's using it and it's a big thing, the transaction volume's going nowhere. That means everybody's sitting on it. That means Bitcoin is not being used by anybody for anything other than speculation. It means it's not being used as a currency. It's not being used as real transaction volume for any real purchases. Yes, it's being used for lots of things, but giant percentage of it, in fact, I would argue damn near 100% of it is used for pure speculation. That's not a future currency. That's a fantasy lottery ticket people are hoping to win. The proof is in the transaction volume. Look at this. The middle of last year, the transaction volume way down here, in the middle of when this thing is going through the freaking roof and everybody's talking about it. I could explain this in depth for you guys. I know some of you are confused as hell right now. I'm just telling you, this thing's manipulated. I'll show you how to look past it here in a second. Bitcoin transaction volume. So here's where we get even deeper. We start piecing some things together you guys haven't thought about before. Now, this is a deep dive. This is going to take a little while. So get ready, get some notes together, get ready to do some screenshots, because we're going to go through a lot of really heavy duty stuff relatively quickly here. Let me take a drink of water here real quick. The state of cryptocurrencies, geopolitics. So you should understand, guys, you really need to understand. If you're messing around with cryptocurrencies at all, you need to be paying attention to geopolitics, because it's affecting everything. Cryptocurrencies, their goal, stated goal in the white paper that Satoshi Nakamoto created, was to create a new kind of financial system, a new way to do banking, to get rid of the centralized banking system. Well, guess what runs the entire world? Decentralized banking system that is in every single country, and they all connected and they all work together. No matter how much they talk about how much they hate each other, all the stuff in the news about them, you know, whatever, at each other's throat, it's mostly bullshit. They all work together because they all have one thing in mind: centralized banking, debt-based centralized banking specifically. So let's talk about this. What this has created is not only a century of lost innovation, as I talked about earlier, It's a century of stolen money. This system, this debt-based system that has what to call inflation built into it. We all throw around like it's a normal term. Inflation, there's nothing inherently wrong with inflation. In fact, you need inflation to make a currency work. Here's another thing, guys, you may not even think about or know about. Bitcoin is deflationary because there's only a limited supply, just like gold. And that deflationary is idea, it's not even an idea. Bitcoin is deflationary. Deflationary meaning prices can only go down. This is a deep subject. I'm not going to cover it too much here, but you need to understand this. Bitcoin will never work as a long-term currency for business because business is deflationary stuff is really bad for business. Think about it. If you're an internet marketer and prices are going down, deflationary, you're going to just keep lowering your prices until you get to zero, eventually you'll out of profit. That's what happens in deflation. You got to keep lowering your prices. Now, there's a whole lot of mechanics going on there that, you know, deep economic theory, but that's just one thing. So with all of that, guys, we've got a whole lot of really freaking heavy duty, unprecedented things going on in our world right now. I'm going to cover the very first one right now, which if you haven't heard about this, you really need to do a deep dive in it because I'm telling you, we are at war. There is a real underground war going on and the mainstream media is not talking about it at all. So let's get into this. Here's the executive order issued on December 21st. The solstice, that is not on accident, guys. That is not on accident. I'm not going to get into why. That's a 2-hour conversation all by itself. Pay attention. These guys do everything very purposefully. When at this level, I don't care what your opinion of Donald Trump is, he operates at a different level than all of us. He's got knowledge that we don't have. So this is executive order blocking the property of persons involved in serious human rights abuse. And here's the most important part right here, guys, or corruption. By the authority invested in me as president, blah, 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 blah. You know, you guys can read this for yourself. I, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, find that the prevalence and severity of human rights abuse and corruption that have their source in whole and parts outside the United States, such as committed or directly committed by the persons listed in the annex, we're going to talk about in a second, have reached such scope and gravity that they threaten the stability of international political and economic systems. Human rights abuse and corruption, these are two separate things, guys. Pay attention. Human rights abuse and corruption, those are not the same thing. Don't lump them together. Undermine the values that form, you can read this all, blah, 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 I'll read it. The United States seeks to impose tangible and significant consequences on those who commit serious human rights abuse or engage in corruption, as well as to protect the financial system of the United States from abuse by those same persons. I therefore determine that serious human rights abuse and corruption around the world constitute an unusual, I'm going to highlight this, pay attention, guys, this is fucking huge, man. An unusual and extraordinary threat to the national security, foreign policy, and economy of the United States, and thereby, and I hereby declare a national emergency, aka martial law, to deal with that threat. Guys, a national emergency was declared. This is martial law. The persons listed in this annex, which we're talking about in the Senate, basically this is who this applies to. So they've got some people they targeted, but on top of that, it's any foreign person determined by a Secretary of the Treasury in consultation with Secretary and Attorney General, basically connected to any stuff with any corruption. Look, one word. Any foreign person, corruption. But here's the thing, guys. To have been a leader or official of an entity, including government entity, engaged in or whose members engaged in any of the activities described above or in the annex. So what this means is basically anybody. They're going after anybody who they can find to be corrupt or a slave trader. This is a massive, Massive, massive deal. It's probably unprecedented in at least our country's history, maybe in world history. It's that big. We are at war. There's martial law right now, guys. It's been declared. This is on whitehouse.gov. I didn't make this shit up. And look up where these terms come from. You understand legal terms. I hereby declare a national emergency to deal with that threat. Guys, this is huge. Nobody's talking about it. You know what? Because the mainstream media is fucking scared. Because guess who's one of the most corrupt entities there is as a general entity? Mainstream media. Complicit in corruption by not calling out people that are doing all this dirty shit around the world. Not only slave trading, but even centralized banking, all the corruption that goes on in the stock markets around the world. Guys, the manipulation of the paper gold and silver markets, the manipulation of the paper cryptocurrency market now via Bitcoin futures, that's all corruption. Basically, you can read this yourself, but they're going after all property. They're taking all property and interest all property, anything you've ever connected to. They're going to seize all your funds and all that. I didn't pull up this slide, but what happened back, Saudi prince arrested Alawid. No, bin Talal. Yeah, Alawid bin Talal. This is really important, guys. Saudi Arabia demands $6 billion. Let me blow this up. This started in Saudi Arabia, guys. You guys know the history of the United States and Saudi Arabia. They've been tied to the hip because of oil and a lot of corruption in the oil markets for a lot of years. Very famously, the Bush family connected to Saudi Arabia at the hip. Now, look, back in, for you guys that don't know and aren't paying attention, I'm gonna just pull. I should have pulled this up already. Saudi, what was it? Princes arrested or jailed or something. There we go. 11 princes, including, you guys that don't know, it's back in November. Saudi Arabia, 11 princes, including billionaire Alawid bin Talal. So why does that guy matter? Oh, he's only the #1 investor in Twitter. He owns, in partnership with Bill Gates, they own Four Seasons, you know, little things like that. He's one of the richest men in the world. He's been ordered, he got arrested November 4th, and he's been held for all of this time for corruption. Pay attention, corruption is totally connected. You go look at the timing of when Donald Trump and what happened when Donald Trump went to Saudi Arabia. I want you guys to pay attention, man. It's all here right in front of you. So here's what's interesting about this. Saudi Arabia demands $6 billion for the release of Prince Alawid bin Talal, one of the richest men in the world. They're demanding $6 billion. He was arrested in an anti-corruption probe last month in Riyadh. This must have been an old article. This is back in November. It's the 57th richest man in the world. And yeah, here we go. So what the point here is that they say he's worth 18 billion and they want 6 billion to be released. That number matters because all of his money was seized. All of these princes that were arrested, almost $800 billion was seized. You know how much money that is? 800 billion was seized. That was just the beginning, guys. That was the warning shot for this. Because if one of the richest, most powerful princes in the world, one of the most public guys who ran around with the Clintons and ran around all the Silicon Valley tech gods and all this, rubbed shoulders with that bin Talal guy seeking his money to invest in all this tech. He's very closely connected to Google, Alphabet, very closely. But here's the thing, his money's been seized. He doesn't have $6 billion. And he can't liquidate billionaires don't just have billions of dollars sitting in the bank. They go, oh, you want 6 billion? I'm worth 18 billion. Here you go. No, guys, it's wrapped up in investments and stuff. It's tied up. You can't just unwind 6 billion for this, something like this. It would collapse his entire empire. Plus, it would be an admission of guilt. He can't do it, guys. He's painted himself in the corner. And now that warning shot was fired, and Donald Trump did this executive order. Since then, here's what's happening. So here's the annex. United States sanction. This is on the U.S. Department of Treasury website. So this is the executive order, but it doesn't mention, here's a few of the people. Here's some of the annex, some of the people they're going after to target with this. But here's the full, this is the press release, and then it talks about the various people in here. Now, this is one important name that keeps sticking out, Dan Gertler. It's a big one. You go to the second part of this. This is, again, on the U.S. Department of Treasury's website. This is the sanctions. Sanctions for the issuance of Global Magnitsky Executive Order, Global Magnitsky designations. That's the basically legal version of this. As you see, he referenced the Global Magnitsky Human Rights Accountability Act. It's important because this is the Office of Foreign Assets Control. These following individuals have been listed to the Office of Foreign Asset Control SDN list. This is a sanction list. You go through here, you can read all these and really nasty, dirty, like some of the most evil people in some of these countries. You're going to start seeing this Gertler Family Foundation, Floret Properties, Floret Holdings. You start digging into this, I'll save you all the time, guys, because remember the guy I told you about, the Ben Talal? Look at this. The very next day, warning shot was fired back in November. Donald Trump released this executive order along with the annex and these things and the connection. Boom. Next day, Google bigwig Eric Schmidt shocks with a surprise resignation amid reports his personal life is being eyed. You know why? Because he is neck deep in this corruption that they're targeting. This is huge because the way this stuff is worded, anybody connected to any of these guys in any sort of way is having all their assets seized. They're being put in prison in different countries around the world. There's sealed indictments all over. That in the United States, there's apparently around 11. I haven't verified this myself, but a lot of people are saying it. A lot of people researching on this, so I believe it based on the sources I'm reading. There's over 10,000, some say 11,000 sealed indictments across the United States right now for cases connected to this. A lot of them have to do with pedophiles and sex traffickers, the human traffickers, but a lot of them have to do with this, the corruption side of this too. So look at this. CEO mass resignations, coincidence? There's the executive order. This is just a little infographic, again, filed on December 20th. The following CEOs and other executives have stepped down since this. Eric Schmidt, Alphabet, Google. CEO of Papa John's, Kevin Marsh, I don't know who that is. Philip Weber, I don't know who that is. And then Major League Baseball. But here's the thing, guys. Those are just 5 guys. It just keeps on going. As of December 22nd, these are the people that have quit in 2017 because they knew this stuff was this corruption stuff is coming. Look at these. These are major names of CEOs. Tony Podesta, the Podesta Group, one of the biggest lobbying groups in the world, one of the most influential groups in the world. Very closely tied to all these people. CEO of Equifax. You can go through this. Meg Whitman, head of Hewlett Packard. London Stock Exchange CEO. The list goes on, and the list has only gotten bigger. CEO of AT&T. There's Diebold. That's a big one. Diebold. Andy Mattis. Diebold. You know what Diebold is? Diebold, guys, you should know this. Every time you go to an ATM, guess what name is on it? Diebold. They make almost all the ATMs in the entire world. Think they're not connected to corruption in the central banking system? Why is all of a sudden their CEO stepping down? Look at these guys. Coincidence? Corruption, backroom deals, kickbacks. when bad actors in business, finance, media, transportation, leisure, and communications facilitate or participate in corruption, we all pay. This applies to everyone. Guys, Eric Schmidt was at the head of Google or Alphabet for 17 years. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, he just quits. This is not a coincidence, man. All of a sudden, we don't hear about it anymore either. So we got the mass CEO resignations. Trump executive order, mass CEO resignations. And then what's coming up next? China signaling to stop buying U.S. debt. That's what supposedly caused the bonds to start selling off this last week. And by the bonds, I mean the world debt, the United States debt more than any of it. But this is a chart of basically the Vanguard Total Bond Market Index Fund. Basically, it's kind of the bond market, they call it. United States debt. It's been selling off like crazy, and all this selling off is really bad because it means that China, or well, I shouldn't say China just yet, but it means people are not buying U.S. debt anymore. That's critically important because we function inside of a debt-based system. Somebody's got to be buying that debt or the system collapses. So when this is selling off and this starts getting bought up, these are huge moves up, by the way, guys, that are happening in the market. It looks kind of small on the chart, but this is massive, massive. And at this point, it makes no sense why anybody is buying this right here. Nobody wants the United States debt. Nobody wants it. China doesn't want it. They've been signaling for years they don't want it. So here's what's happened. I just did a Google here so you guys can do this yourself. 10-year treasury yield. You can see all these pictures. Here's the one I like the most. But here's an important point. It's now below 2%. It's been, down there for a long time. Well, not a long time, but you guys can see the chart yourself. The yield means how much that debt pays out. If you're just a straight investor and you're looking, hey, I want to make some money on my money, go park it somewhere and make some money. It makes 0 cents to put $1 of investment into United States Treasury bonds. Why would you do that? Because you get less than 2% interest on it. When you can, when inflation is 3% plus on average, so you're losing money putting it there. Why? Because it's safe. Since when is U.S. Treasury bonds safe? Now they haven't defaulted yet. That's the important thing. But guess what's happening this week, guys? We can no longer afford to fund our government. It's a whole going on in the news like crazy. All this DACA immigration stuff, they want to get that passed. But what's behind all of that, the reason they got pressure to get it done, because the government's about to shut down. It can't pay its bills anymore. Why? Because we live in a debt-based system. They keep running up more and more and more debt, which makes that debt worth less and less and less on the open market. Nobody wants this shit. The country is about to implode completely. And I'm telling you, without Bitcoin, as much as I've been taking a shit on Bitcoin today, I'm not against Bitcoin. I'm just warning you guys. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Bitcoin is certainly the future. Cryptocurrencies are future. They are. Here's the thing. Think about this. Because Bitcoin is going up, it means the US dollar is going down. Because the Bitcoin is traded against US dollar. That's where this price comes from. This price is in dollars. Traded against the dollar. That means the dollar is crashing. And the dollar has been crashing for weeks. Nobody wants it around the world. And China has been signaling like crazy that they're going to get rid of it. Now, is the U.S. a bigger debt risk than Russia and Botswana? A Chinese rating agency thinks so. That's just critically important, man. Dagon Global says outlook for U.S. negative as tax cuts worsen repayment capacity. Means they don't believe that we can repay our debt anymore. So according to them, Botswana is more creditworthy than the United States. It's critically important. But here's the thing, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. China's been signaling to stop buying US debt. They've been doing it all over the place. You can do a Google search yourself. You see all kinds of articles pop up about it. But here's the thing, it's not gonna happen. Why? Because if the United States debt bubble collapses, China is holding more debt than anybody in the entire world. They're going to be left holding worthless paper. So they don't want to lose. So what do? Keep buying it. It's the most insane thing ever. But you couple that with what happened in 2008 and how the Federal Reserve, they passed a bunch of goofy rules, and now they basically print money by buying up these treasury bonds. So between China buying and the Federal Reserve buying, the US debt it's a ghost market. It's the Walking Dead, zombie. The whole thing is zombie. It's bullshit. It's built up on air. One little thing is going to pop this thing and it's going to come crashing down. And whenever you have that start to happen, Russia and China are terrified that there's something's going to happen to the US bond market, because then it's going to be a race for the exits. You don't want to be in a race for the exits when you're the biggest holder, because it's hard to liquidate all that stuff. Whenever this thing pops, there's nobody going to be buying it. So who are they going to sell it to be able to exit it? You can't. It'll go to zero. It'll be worth nothing. So all these hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars they've dumped into the United States through buying the treasury bonds will become worthless. With one bad enough hiccup, it's lights out, man. You just research it yourself, guys. The proof is everywhere. And we're supposed to be worried about Trump's using the word shithole. What the fuck, man? This is clear manipulation of people's, it's just dirty what's going on. So yes, China is signaling stop buying US debt because they're scared of it. They don't want to touch it. It's dirty, it's terrible. It's a debt-based system that's been dead for 100 years, and the Federal Reserve made it worse. And they keep propping it up by creating new kinds of derivatives. The newest kind of derivative, the latest, greatest, hottest thing that's making everybody take their eye off the ball is the Bitcoin futures. It's just a derivative, guys. It's paper markets. Do you know that 90+% of gold, what is quoted as gold prices and gold trading and all this, it's mostly paper. It's not the real gold. It's the bullshit. It's derivatives. And what's happening now is a lot of this debt that's being passed around the world, you guys have been seeing it for years. If you're paying attention at all, you've seen Greece fail, Italy, Portugal, Spain. Germany's in trouble. The biggest bank in the world, Deutsche Bank, is failing. Guess who's tied to the hip with them? Goldman fucking Sachs. It's all connected. This entire shell game is collapsing. And when you couple this with the things that are on the screen right now, that Trump executive order, all these funds being seized, shit's about to change, and change dramatically. Next bullet point, Petro Yuan. Now, China's been talking about this Petro Yuan for quite a while. Here's the thing. It's launching January 18th. Yes, 2 days from now. Today's the 16th. Launching 2 days, January 18th. Why is that so important? Well, for those that don't know, since the 70s, early 70s, since OPEC was formed, the world has been trading oil only in US dollars. We call it, the nickname is petrodollar. It's the single thing that has been kept the United States alive since the 70s. The United States' entire financial system, and indeed the world's entire central banking system, should have collapsed in the 70s. Everybody thought it was going to collapse in the 70s. All the signs were there. The oil crisis, and then the what they call the credit crisis, was basically the Federal Reserve fucking everything up as bad as you could do it. The system should have collapsed then. But what kept it alive was the petrodollar. It was an ingenious move by the United States to leverage, to make the entire world trade oil in US dollars, denominated in US dollars, redeem into US dollars. Well, as you should know by now, the entire world is sick of that shit. I mean, it's what's causing a lot of these wars around the world. So the Petro Yuan is nothing short of a knife in the heart of the US dollar, because what it's doing is allowing for countries of the world to trade oil denominated in yuan instead of the US dollar. It's shifting financial focus east. And what's more important about that is that it's not just petro yuan. It's not the same as petrodollar. The petrodollar is just oil that has to be traded denominated in dollars. It doesn't mean oil is backing up the dollar. That's the biggest difference here. The petro yuan is redeemable in oil, meaning commodity, real value is backing up the currency instead of just air and debt and bullshit. United States is a debt-based system. You know what that means, guys? Here's what it literally means. And I'm using the word literally exactly the way it's meant to be, not figuratively, literally. The debt-based systems we have in the United States and around the world, it's not unique to the United States. Every central banking system is this way around the world now. But the United States is the biggest one, obviously. But what it means is that whenever you trade Federal Reserve notes, you look on a dollar bill, $100 bill, $20 bill, whatever, it says Federal Reserve note on the top of it. Federal Reserve loan is what that should say. Note means loan. When you go take out a mortgage at the bank, it's a note. When you go take out a loan for a car, it's a note. It's very specific legal language. US dollar is a note. So every time you do anything, exchange any US money around with anybody for anything whatsoever, all you are doing is trading other people's debt, meaning all of our credit card debt, all of our mortgage, all of your car loans, your whatever, anything you've considered debt, revolving debt of any kind, gets thrown in a basket, swirled around, and mixed together. They call it fungible. It mixes together so nicely you can't tell one from the other. They mix that whole pot together and they reprint it and they call it US dollars, Federal Reserve notes. Congratulations, you got such powerful money there. When you're trading money, the US dollar or the euro or any of those centralized banking, you're literally trading in other people's credit card debt, in other people's mortgages. How fucking crazy is that? But that's what we bought into. That's the system and how it works. It's complete bullshit. That's why cryptocurrencies have gotten so crazy. Because people are sick of not having something real backing their money. What's backing our money is other people's debt. And that's why you're seeing the debt-based market, the debt collapsing. That's Bitcoin. Same chart. This is the debt. I'm telling you guys, you want to make money for the rest of your life, all you got to do is one thing. Bet against debt. Bet against debt. Just think about this. You got a good friend who comes to you and says, dude, I got $100 million. You want to give me 10 million for it? Like, oh, hell yeah, I'll give you 10 million for 100 million. Well, what if all that 100 million was debt? It's not worth 10 million. It's worth 0 million if it's debt, because you got to go collect this. You got to go collect debt. That exact same scenario is played out every single day on the world scale, and billions and trillions of dollars move around. It's insane, not sustainable. That's why cryptocurrencies are rising. That's why crypto is exploding. That's why all these geopolitical things are going on in the world, because there's no value left in the world. And all the value has been stripped out and sold to China. You know what they did with it? Smart shit, like built buildings and streets. And most importantly, over the years, they now have 40,000 tons of gold. The most in the world. 40,000 tons. They own most of the gold, a big chunk of the world's supply of gold. The US, at least even on the official records, have nowhere even near yet. And the official records are bullshit. It's all paper. It's not real gold. So the petro yuan is coming. The petro yuan bombshell. This is a great article about how the petro yuan is just going to gut the everything, really. Here's the next thing. Breaking: Russia issuing crypto ruble. Now this is a cryptocurrency, crypto ruble. Why is that significant? This is basically a ruble. It's a state currency. Instead of having the current ruble, you know, they can have a cryptocurrency version. But here's the thing, when they say that Russia issued breaking, this is back in October, I believe. Yeah, October 15th. But I've been studying this for a while, guys. And even back in October, it wasn't just like I said the other day in one of my calls, like it wasn't just a bunch of guys in Russia sitting around in a room, you know, drinking vodka and smoking cigars and saying, oh, we should jump on this cryptocurrency bandwagon. Yeah, we should. Fuck no, guys, they're way ahead of all this. They've invested hundreds of billions of dollars in this already. It's already tested. It's already working. It already will scale to hundreds of billions worth of transactions every day. They can run through it. They've already tested it with over $100 billion transaction, and it worked fantastically. So why haven't they rolled it out? They're ready. They could flip the switch right now. Why haven't they? For the exact reason I talked about earlier. Same reason China can't stop buying US debt. Because as soon as they flip that thing on and it becomes a crypto ruble, that's how you get currency in Russia, it basically delegitimizes the entire world's debt-based financial system. Because if they flip over to cryptocurrency, they're saying, oh, the other system is fucked up, so we got to go to something else. It means not say that to you, but it says it to people that are holding a lot of this debt. That's why you haven't seen big noise made about this crypto ruble thing. But I'm telling you guys, it's being put in play. It's coming into existence in 2018. Petro Yuan is coming into existence in a couple of days. All of these shifts add up to a really wild picture, man. And here's the biggest one of all these guys, and you guys, most of you have never even heard of this, and it's a crying shame that the way that our US media is run and our education system is run, that we have no idea what's going on in the rest of the world. It's like we live in North Korea. It's crazy. It really is like we live in North Korea, like where news is filtered and education, you're only taught certain things. It's crazy. Yet one of the biggest, no, not one of, the biggest financial play, the biggest construction project, the biggest biggest project humans have ever endeavored to put together, entire human history, the Belt and Road Initiative is shifting a lot of the world's financial eyes, including all this power, to the east. What is the Belt and Road Initiative? I shouldn't even have to tell you. We should be having a high-level conversation about what the Belt and Road Initiative is instead of being kindergarten like you guys haven't even heard of it. It's been going on for a long time now. This is interesting, guys. This is HSBC, the world's biggest banks. Nazi bank. Originated from Nazis. Research it. This is the Belt and Road right here. Is a graphic of it. It's basically New Silk Road connecting the entire Eurasian continent via railroads, interstate highway system, and maritime stuff to make the New Silk Road. I brought up this page on purpose because guess what's being covered up there and is nowhere in that picture? Look on the left. The United States. The United States does not factor into any of this, guys. The Belt and Road Initiative, the United States is being left completely out of the largest financial and construction project in human history. All of this is one play to unite these continents in a commerce system very similar to what the United States, North America has with coast-to-coast roads, coast-to-coast railroads, border-to-border roads, railroads for easy shipment of goods and commerce. It's what fuels everything. The only reason that Asia and Europe have lagged behind the US at all is because they've been having so much infighting that they didn't join together like the United States did. You know what United States means, guys? It's a bunch of united countries. Every state in the United States legally is a different country. That's why they're borders. That's why every one of them has a different set of laws and a different government. They're all individual sovereign entities. I live in California. It's a country unto itself. But we decided to share borders with the other countries in the continental United States. We share the interstate system and railroads. That's what's kept the United States ahead, guys. That's it. That's why China is pushing so hard in this Belt and Road Initiative. Look at this. The Belt and Road Initiative is vast, and countries that account for 29% of global GDP, a third, trillions of dollars. So here's another one, guys. The Royal Institute of International Affairs is a very official think tank, one of these big, what do they call them, NGOs, non-government organization. Here's what they had to say about it. The Belt and Road Initiative and the London market, the next step in renminbi internationalization. It's hard to say this. This is huge. This should kind of freak you guys out when you understand this. The next step in renminbi internationalization. What does that mean? I'm going to spell it out for you here. Where is it? I found it earlier. Oh, here it is. Increase interconnectedness, the onshore and offshore markets, and addition of renminbi to IMS. I'm going to blow this up here. The addition of the renminbi, which is China's currency, one of them, to the IMF, International Monetary Fund, special drawing rights basket. Special drawing rights is basically an international currency. It's like the US dollar, but it's used for international trade between countries via the International Monetary Fund. Why is this important? Because what's in the special drawing rights, the SDR basket, reserve currencies. What they're doing is setting up the renminbi to be a global reserve currency. And this is coming about because they need it for the One Belt, One Road initiative. And what's important about that? Here's important. Guys, go to this, do this right now. Go search Belt and Road Initiative, and what's going to come up? You're going to see, this blew me away earlier. Look, this is an ad. This is an ad, HSBC, Belt and Road Opportunity Rising. That's where I came to this page, or no, this one. So scroll down the page here. Look at this, 1, 2, 3 ads. You guys know about advertising. Silk Road.news.cn for China. One Belt Road Initiative, official consultation platform. These are companies opening up to consult. We're talking hundreds of billions, trillions of dollars, guys. This is massive. This is bigger than anything that's ever been attempted, ever. Latest news, like people are paying for ads just for news to this thing. Next steps for renminbi. This is the site I brought up here. These are ads, guys, that people are paying for this traffic. Why? You can go read about it for yourself, but I'll open up this. This is the important part here. This is a map of where they're trying to connect everything. So this will be from China. You know, this will be railroads, interstate highway system will connect all the way to Europe. And this is the maritime portion of there. Already pretty much have the maritime portion figured out already. But look where these roads, these interstate things run to, guys. Syria, Iran, Ukraine, North Korea. Look at this. It's got to go through North Korea to get to South Korea. So all this bullshit that you see in the news about Syria, anything to do with Iran, anything to do with Ukraine, anybody that's in where these roads are going is all bullshit. It's all because there's two factions fighting for control of this. We call it deep state cabal, kind of the assholes of the world, the central bankers, Goldman Sachs, George Soroses of the world have been running things for a long time. And kind of the good guys. And I put China in some fashion in that because they're the ones that are actually trying to create money, a monetary system that has real value with it. And so is Russia. Russia is creating the crypto ruble. The crypto ruble is redeemable and backed by Gold. It's real money. It's not just a cryptocurrency. It's money backed by value, as opposed to the United States dollar, who hasn't been backed by gold since the 70s, 1972, in fact. It's based on nothing but air and belief and bullshit. So Belt and Road Initiative is the biggest play ever, guys. So we're going to shift a little bit here, guys, so you understand where we're headed with this, because this is all cool and all this, and it's great to understand all that, but what do we do with it now? And what does it have to do with some of the other things I talked about earlier? Well, I'm going to explain that to you. So before I do that, I got to talk about myself some more, and I'm only doing this so you understand, again, why I'm thinking about this the way I'm thinking about it. And I don't put this stuff, none of this stuff up here to brag about myself. I need you to understand what I'm talking about. So I'll just lay the groundwork. I've been a programmer, like I said, forever. I've been a very advanced programmer, software and websites for all kinds of big companies, including MTV, WorldPokerTour.com. I built drphil.com in 2006, I think it was. And a lot of celebrities. I can name drop all over the place. The important point I want you to understand from this is I've been connected at a high level for a very, very long time. And then, you know, I think we talked about earlier, I've been building automated trading systems since the early 90s. I used to build Lotus Note spreadsheets that would trade the S&P 500 through faxing. There's a wild system, but that was before electronic trading systems existed. So I've been on the cusp of all this for a long time. I built a weighted index arbitrage system that traded the S&P 500 in a weighted way, doing the arbitrage in that. This generated over 400 million in profits to date. I didn't make that. It was made by other people that I built that system for, but still cranking. And it was the predecessor to what now is known as high frequency trading, and at least a derivative of it. And high frequency trading is a broad subject. But I've been deep in that space for a long time. And what you're going to find out, guys, when you go in and you try to specifically, you're trying to day trade anything, I don't care what it is. You're going to have to be one of the top 1% in the world to even make any money at all, because you're competing against extremely sophisticated arbitrage systems that you can't, I mean, these things make trade at the speed of light. You can't do that. You can't push buttons fast enough. So even back 20 years ago, guys, think about this. 20 years ago, I built high frequency trading systems that were placing 2,000 trades a day, in and out, millions of dollars slinging back and forth. That was 20 years ago. Think about what's going on now. High frequency trading's got so crazy now that the only way to compete is to get closer to the servers at the exchange. So what's happened is all the real estate around the New York Stock Exchange, around NASDAQ, and around the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, all these exchanges, all the real estate that's right directly around them has gone through the roof in rental prices. Why? Because you want to be so close to an exchange? No, that might have been true in the 80s, but nobody gives a shit now. It's all electronic trading. There's no real huge, I mean, there is some still, don't get me wrong, but it's not really like a big thing to be close to an exchange. The reason they do that and the reason these rents have gone through the roof is because the only way to compete now is to make the wire shorter. To make the wire shorter, so this, even though we're talking about the speed of light, those extra little sub-microseconds that they can get in speed to get ahead of trades is the difference between winning and losing. So you're going to get out there and go and try and trade Bitcoin, at least on a day trading basis. I'm only talking about day trading, intraday. You're going to go try to compete with that, and Goldman Sachs, who has literally unlimited resources to save their own system, good fucking luck. All right, so part of this, I applied those trading systems to blackjack, and I won 1.2 million in 11 days in a two-partner team system I did back 20 years ago again. And the only reason I bring that up is because the exact same system that works for that is just basically managing risk. That's all it is. It's risk and portfolio managing. That's it. It's no different in blackjack than it is in the stock market or anything else when it has a sort of a zero-sum game, and none of them are actually zero-sum game, but a sort of zero-sum game that's sort of predictable. If you don't do it correctly, because it's not a zero-sum game like the casino always has a dealer. Somebody's got to pay the dealer. So there's always a fee coming out of every hand. Even if you're playing poker against other people, you know, the casino doesn't take any money, but you know what? Every hand, they take a little piece out of it. It's the same as the exchange, the NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange, or any bank. Any intermediary, all they're doing is taking a little piece of the pie and leaving you with the rest. So if you just buy and sell all day long, you eventually lose because they're always taking a piece out of the middle. The house always wins. The casino always wins. That's why. Because they get a piece of everything, no matter what it does. Up, down, buy, sell, doesn't matter. They get a piece of everything. So it built all of Vegas. It built Macau. It's built an entire Wall Street, NASDAQ, all of that, all these transaction fees. That's important. You're going to understand here in a little bit. So another thing I covered in that module 6 I referenced earlier is reality gamification. That's a part we're going to talk about tonight too, because this is the piece everyone is missing. So you can go find out all this financial stuff, all the political stuff, all the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency stuff, and all this going forward from lots of places. You know, I'm not the only guy that's reading this stuff and putting pieces together. But what I would submit to you is that putting together something here that nobody's thinking about yet, or at least not fully. I'm telling you, this is the piece that you really need. I would really be diving on. Instead of trying to figure out how to trade Bitcoin and competing against the best guys in the world with unlimited resources and high frequency trading bots that you can't compete with, why don't you go somewhere that nobody's thinking about yet? Reality gamification. And we're going to talk about that right now. So inside of the Profit Blocks training, I put up this mind map, and I made a very bold statement. And I said, this right here, this could be the only slide you need out of the whole training. I'll just say it to you guys right here. I'll make the same statement. However, I got a better one coming, so don't sell everything for this yet. And here's why. Now this looks more complicated than it should be after seeing the revised version. I'm just going to go straight to the revised version here. And what's at the hub of all this is games. So as you understand that, I'm going to go back to this one. Because what we got here is a game. It's a game that I invented. It's an SEO game that Peter and I invented. It's another game that Mark Hoverson invented. Great Lemonade Crusade is a game that Mark Hoverson created for some kids. So all of these kind of are the same as this right here. And the trainer method is a game that I invented for our personal development program. So these are all games. They could all fit in the middle here. They're exactly the same as this green thing right here. So this is why this is much simpler. This is more complicated than it should be. So really, you don't have to look at any of that. Really, just got to look at this. A game, and what's around it? Miners. There's miners, and what they're doing is tying into game input systems, you know, all kinds of ways to do games, and they tie into a blockchain, and that blockchain tied into some sort of ecosystem of cryptocurrency, it creates a new financial system. This is a way to engage customers in the future with games tied to cryptocurrencies. That's critically important for you to understand. What we're talking about is SEO cryptocurrency mining, and this is something you guys need to understand before we get done with this. I'm going to cover this in depth because this is not only the future, but here's the most important part. Is this is a way to leverage all of this stuff I've been talking about right now that you can make money from tomorrow and not have to wait for the entire shift that's happening in the world right now. Because what's happening with, well, let me not jump ahead yet. Yeah, okay, we're still going to talk about SEO. I forgot about what's on my slides here. So we're going to talk about this SEO cryptocurrency mining. There's non-permission and permission. Now, what you're seeing is a lot of, there's headlines everywhere with, you guys that are paying attention have seen it. In fact, you know what? I'll just search for some live right now. Let's just do it. Let's just do Monero. Monero mining browser, something. So what you're seeing in the news with Monero, you're starting to see that, I'm trying to look for this, bolster defensive. Someone hacked BlackBerry to steal computer. What's happening is you're seeing what's going on is people are putting a little JavaScript on websites, and whenever you come to the website, that JavaScript starts taking over resources on your computer and doing the math basically and all the stuff that needs to happen to mine cryptocurrency. And they're doing it with Monero because Monero is really easy to mine right now. So what's happening is you're getting a lot of people sitting around viruses and various things and putting malicious code on websites that, you know, starts ramping up your CPU on your computer and using your resources, eating up your bandwidth on your internet connection, all of that stuff. That's horrible. Don't do that. That's what I'm calling non-permissioned. Because what you could do is you just start putting that on all your websites, we'll make them rank on SEO for anything, or whatever. It doesn't matter what it ranks for. Just pick the easiest shit there is and do it in mass scale. It's really easy to do when you got tools like I'm going to show you in a second. You know, you can do millions of pages in a day, literally, and be ranking for the most ridiculous, easy to rank for local search terms. You put that little script on there and you have people mining cryptocurrencies. Don't do that. I mean, I can't stop you, but it's horrible. You're going to end up in bad places and might even go to jail from that. So don't do that. It works. There are people making lots of money doing it, but don't. Because you can do a permissioned version. You can just do something like create a basic members area, or even a little pop-up. Put a little pop-up that comes up on your website that says, hey, do you mind if we mine cryptocurrency in the background? It might eat up some of your resource on your computer and use some of your bandwidth. Do you mind? If you don't mind, we'll throw in X amount % for you that will pay you live. So you hit OK. OK, and, you know, they might have you install a wallet or something. You just do mining on your computer right there for other people. You don't have to think about it. Think about what you could do with that for all the unsophisticated people out there that could just be using their computers and sitting idle anyway and making money on the side. Just ask their permission and give them a little bit of it. Don't be an asshole and try to do all this black hat bullshit to steal money from people. They don't need to. So that's a powerful thing you can do, a permissioned version of this. And we have all the software to do this, and I'll show you guys how to get access to it. But the next part of this is human activity mining, which I believe is going to be the future. I strongly believe. Actually, let me back up. I really fucking believe strongly that this is going to be the future of everything. Now, mining is a problem when it comes to cryptocurrencies. I don't want to cover it too much. It's just a deep, deep subject. But we talked about it some already. And one of the big problems with mining cryptocurrencies, at least the way it's done now with Bitcoin, is that it uses something called proof of stake, which is very resource intensive. It takes a lot of electricity. You guys have seen people talk about that already, and that's one of the reasons that that China was looking to ban Bitcoin, was because of the electricity requirements for it. But I'm telling you, that's all dying. Because people are waking up to the fact that this electricity that's getting burned is literally just being burned. It's not doing anything useful at all. The only thing it's doing is hitting a random number generator, generating a random hash at random, and then hoping to be the first one to spit out a hash that has a bunch of zeros at the front of it. That's it. It's ridiculous. It's really fucking stupid. It's wasting shitloads of energy just to make educated guesses. Not even educated, just guesses. All this happening in Bitcoin mining rigs is they're guessing these numbers really fast. It's ridiculous. All that energy is just being burned for nothing, not being used at all other than to generate the blocks and getting the block reward in crypto. It's terrible. That system's going to die. You're already seeing the choke points and the limitations of that. The reason all these forks are happening and the reason they're trying to start this Lightning Network that I was bitching about earlier, the SegWit 2, all of this stuff is because Bitcoin can only handle maximum 7 transactions per second. Visa and MasterCard, to compare, I think they're around 1900 a second. PayPal is around 900 transactions a second. PayPal is around 900 transactions a second. Bitcoin is effectively 3 or 4. How is that going to work? It will never work. It's because of the mining component. The mining component is a dead-end game. All cryptocurrencies are shifting to different types of confirming transactions in the network and securing the network through those transactions. So mining is a dying game. It's a dead end. It's as dead end as a 8-foot thick brick wall. You're heading towards it. If you're a miner, get the fuck out. I'm telling you. Because here's what's coming. The next wave of cryptocurrencies that are coming, EOS is probably the best example of that. EOS. EOS is probably going to be one of the biggest in the world. It'll supplant Bitcoin by far. EOS is so big it can run all of Ethereum just on one block. And it will do unlimited transactions per second. And here's the most important thing about it. It eliminates transaction fees. I'm going to say that again. It eliminates transaction fees. The transaction fees are what's killing Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin wasn't meant to have slow confirmation times and high transaction fees. That will kill the whole thing. That's what's killing it. It costs almost $40 on average right now to do a transaction on Bitcoin. $40. This is supposed to be a currency that you can use as a currency to spend $1 here, $1 there, and trade. When the transaction fee is $40, that's never going to work. That's more than an international wire fee. International wire fee on the SWIFT system is $25. So the mining portion of this is, you're going to see that whole industry being upended throughout the next year, because the new cryptocurrencies that are coming out don't have all this. They have a different kind of securing of the network. Some of them use what's called a delegated proof of stake. I won't get into that too much, but what it does is it allows holders of the equity to become trusted custodians, like we talked about earlier. But it's done in random fashion, so you don't have a banking system issue like you have with other systems. So that all matters, because all of this specialized equipment you're seeing for mining and all this stuff, and even the Monero non-permission and permission stuff, that's a temporary play. And I don't play around with temporary plays. You guys have been around me long enough. You've heard me say this a number of times. I don't do anything that's not infinitely scalable and future-proof. You shouldn't either. There's nothing wrong with doing arbitrage plays here and there. Arbitrage, by their own definition, are limited time games. But you can do arbitrage in things that are infinitely scalable and future-proof. So I just never got involved with mining. I just didn't see why anybody would do it. It's definitely an arbitrage play, but why invest in all this crazy equipment whenever China already has this shit centralized? China already has complete control of Bitcoin mining as it is. You can't compete with those guys. Good luck. So what everybody's done is moved to mining of other cryptocurrencies, but it's the same problem. Eventually you run into the exact same problem. Just because you move to another currency doesn't mean the problem goes away. So what's happening is the next generation of cryptocurrencies are coming out, solving these problems, and eliminating transaction fees, which is going to mean as this stuff gets lighter on system resources, you guys are starting hearing about it already. The Internet of Things, where small devices that you have all around your life connected to the internet and all talking to each other and doing various things. The Internet of Things will be the future mining. It's the future of securing all the cryptocurrencies in the world. It's not these big mining rigs with warehouses full of these things. That's not the future. It's just not. The future is the Internet of Things, because what's going to happen is you get all these sidechain technologies and something called atomic swaps, and where all these different cryptocurrencies can cross-trade with each other on very lightweight devices. Like, you'll be able to mine crypto on your toaster. Any of these internet and Wi-Fi connected toasters, blenders, refrigerators, microwaves, all kinds of things. Your car one day will be mining cryptocurrency. Not to mention your cell phone. I mean, cell phones are powerful. Smartphones are extremely powerful compared to the device I'm talking about. And this innovation is coming ridiculously fast, guys. Just look up something called Hashgraph or something called DAG, D-A-G. Those two technologies are screaming into marketplace right now, and they're super lightweight, and there's tons of these coming. It's not just those two. Lightweight things that don't eat up all these resources, and you can run them anywhere. So if that's the future and it's coming really quickly, why mess with building up an entire business around this when you know it's going to be dying? It doesn't make any sense. So what I'm doing is looking to get out ahead of all this. So where are we headed? Where are we going to be in a few years? In a few very short years. I give it 3 years on the outside. Google won't matter in 3 years. Google may not matter by the end of 2018. We're going to talk more about that here in a second with the SEO portion, but we should get in front of all this stuff, guys, because what's happening is, where are we going to be? If we know this, we're going to be in a place very, very soon where the completely centralized version of the internet we have now will be all completely decentralized, all run on, Internet of Things devices instead of, well, in addition to, but mostly instead of giant server farms like Google has. Because nobody trusts that shit anymore. I don't trust what's going on in Google's farm. All I know from Google is that they stole all my content. They went and scraped all my websites without my permission, stored it on their servers, and then they deliver it on their own website. Google owns their own website. It's called google.com. Think about this, guys. If I went and stole your content from your website, put it on my website, and put ads around it, would you be very happy with me? Would you think I was the greatest company in the world? Fuck no, they're a bunch of thieves. They steal everybody's content, scraping bots, go around and index it, quote unquote, in their search engine. Oh, thank you, Google, for indexing my site in your search engine, assholes. So they go index that content and then deliver it and put ads all around it and give me zero that bit of that revenue. They're doing that on a massive scale worldwide, and we're all thanking them for it. That's crazy. So that paradigm is shifting. People are waking up to this fact. You're starting to see it everywhere. You're starting to see people push back against Facebook. People are sick of putting all of their content, their content, their heart, their whatever value that they can create, pouring it into Facebook, and then Facebook taking that and selling all that to advertisers. I posted on Facebook today, I said, you are not the customer of social media. You're not a customer of Facebook. You're not a customer of Twitter. You're not a customer of MySpace. You're not a customer of any of these guys. You're the fucking product. You are the product that they are selling to advertising. You. Everything you do, everything you look at, everything you click on, everything you read, everything you post, every time you pat yourself on the back for all the likes, views, and shares, and followers, and subscribers, and all that shit you get, you know what that's called? It's called gamification. You just got gamified. And they're using all those gamification endpoints to build a profile of you, not just generic, I'm not talking about demographics and psychographics. I'm talking about a profile of you, your exact likes, thoughts, beliefs, what you're going to buy, all of that. And then they package it up and sell it. And they don't give you any of it. They just give you, what you get is the dopamine kick you get from saying how many followers and likes and views and shares and all that shit you got. Some of you are smart enough to actually monetize that somehow in the middle, but really all you're doing is in the middle of Google or Facebook or Twitter, all these guys. They're all selling your data in a secondary marketplace. It's no different than you putting your own human body up on the NASDAQ and putting it up for sale. It's no different. And I can tell you for sure that this corruption thing is in there. I've dug enough deep into this, I can see, guys, why you think Facebook is changing their strategy now. And of course, they change a lot of stuff all the time. But just last week, just the other day, they made a big public thing about how they're de-emphasizing brands to more friends and family, which means they are changing their algorithm to display less advertising and more people. That's of course going to make advertising costs go up. It's going to, of course, make their stock price go down theoretically, because they're going to be making less money. Why would they do that? Because the world is waking up to say, hey, fuck you. If you don't change this, we're leaving. That's what's going on. see it in Twitter. I mean, there's all kinds of negative stuff coming out of Twitter and how they're selling people's information, making profiles on people. So what are we talking about? Human activity mining. So what I'm trying to do, guys, is paint you a picture of where we're headed. The internet of the future, we completely decentralized, all of us connected peer-to-peer, just like Alibaba is doing their P2P nodes, and they don't even know what the hell it is. What they're doing is that they're launching a blockchain as a service business where they set, it's kind of like Amazon Web Services, AWS, where you log in, you sign it, build a server, and that becomes your node for mining or securing it, some sort of cryptocurrency, blockchain, whatever. That's what they're doing. But it's just not going to work, at least temporarily. Because like I said, what we're doing is we're moving into an era where people are sick of pouring all of their value into Facebook and some of these social networks and not getting compensated for it. Or pouring a whole lot of their value and basically value exchange into a place like YouTube and constantly being censored and being told what they can and can't say, and then getting a tiny little piece of whatever revenue. Meanwhile, Google and Facebook and Twitter are making billions and billions and billions basically by feeding off of people's value, just like in the fucking Matrix. We are batteries for the system. Those likes, views, followers, subscribers, and all that stuff that you get in there is the fuel that feeds this whole system. And it's being sucked out of you. No, it's even worse than that. It's not being sucked out. You're just given to it freely. You're a slave to this whole system. You're a slave, Neo. Take the red pill. But the shift here, guys, the massive, massive, massive shift, maybe the biggest one we'll see in our lives, is the shift towards, well, specifically shift away from, we've already seen this part, shift away from corporate America, people working in cubicles and driving to work and sitting in a cubicle all day and then driving back home in the most inefficient, robotic, industrial revolutionary way that has no benefit for humankind. All it does is drive profits. Our entire world has gotten driven by this debt-based system that has to create profits. It's kind of the evil of the corporation. It has to create profits. But there's nothing wrong with creating profits. There is nothing wrong with profit at all. I love profit. We all love profit. Here's the issue. Our system's built on a system of profit that forsakes human value, puts profit before people. The profit at the sake of everything else. That's why you see all the shitty stuff that's going on in the world, because profit first, human second. That's changing. That whole paradigm's changing. Everybody's sick of it. It's the same thing I talked about from the beginning of this, trust. None of us trust these systems anymore. We don't even know why, but I'm telling you, this is why. They're stealing from us. They're stealing your energy every day. You let it happen. We all let it happen. You are not a customer of these systems. You are the product. So as everybody's getting sick of that and waking up to this, and we move to cryptocurrencies, you find out cryptocurrency mining, it doesn't work that well. It's energy and resource intensive. What are you going to do from there? All of this paints a picture to moving towards people's human activity mining of cryptocurrencies. It's a move away from working in a corporate cubicle. It's a move away from even working at home. Telling that the future of how you do business, the future of how customers engage with you, your business, the future of how you do things is your human activity gamified that creates a point system or some sort of comp plan, and those points turn into cryptocurrencies from mining. That's where we're headed. That's where I'm putting all of my resources to be out in front of it. And we can bridge the gap between, that's all in the future, obviously, but we can bridge the gap to this future by doing some really, really old school, easy SEO. So we leverage it by doing a couple of things. The permissioned kind of mining that we're talking about. And then the next one here on this fourth bullet point, meetup.com, SEO, human activity mining, question mark. What I'm talking about is the ability to take anything that you would see people doing on, like, for example, meetup.com. And people doing the stuff that they do on meetups. I used to run a meetup. It's how I got started in trading back in the day. Before meetup.com existed, it was bulletin board kind of things. But I moved to meetup. I used to run a meetup where we get together and we talk about trading. It's cool. And Tarlisa has been involved in that, my wife. She's been doing this lately, getting together in meetups and teaching vision board classes. There's another one that gets together here in San Diego that I just joined. They do themed golf tournaments. They do them every week or so. They get together, random golf course. You put in $50, and then go play golf. And they have all these prizes and stuff. What's important here is all these people doing all these things, getting together, doing things that they're going to do anyway. But whenever you lay all this stuff I've been telling you guys all plays into this. This is not uncorrelated. It's all correlated, because what we're moving towards is the way that human, what's the word I'm looking for? Mankind, I guess. The way mankind was meant to exist and live and breathe and eat on the earth. Like before all this technology bullshit, what did we do? We either hunters or gatherers. We went hunting and killed our food, or we stayed back and prepped it. You grow it. As agriculture and industrialization rose up, we let something happen to us called an education system and a financial system and debt. Remember what I said earlier? You know how to win? Bet against debt. This entire system that's created through the Industrial Revolution was built for one purpose: to make us slaves of the system. And everybody's rebelling against that. Whether you know the reason why or not, we are doing it. Just a normal cycle of us. We're all sick of being slaves. Sick of not being able to trust each other. We're sick of not being able to get together and just have a good time and hang out without some worrying about some other bullshit going on. Everybody wants to connect and trust each other again. That's what the driving force behind all of this is. We all just want to trust each other again. That's it, man. And our world is so fucked up. We let it get so fucked up and backwards. It's so hard to trust anything anymore. Anytime you see anything on the internet anymore, you instantly don't believe it. You got to check. You got to do fact checking and all this bullshit, and search 20 different places and inform your own opinion in the end. Nobody trusts anything, because the internet and these centralized systems were built. They can steal from you very easily, and you have no idea if stuff has been copied 10,000 times. When you go on a website, you have no idea if that article or that piece of music or that PDF or whatever it is, whatever the content is, you have no way of knowing that thing has not been copied 10 bajillion times and infected with viruses and passed along to people and whatever. That's the problem with the internet that we have right now. The post-Google internet solves this, and that post-Google internet is driven by human activity, by people getting together, trusting each other, being able to have fun together, and doing what they love to do, and at the same time creating real value exchange, not just getting some likes and views and followers on social media, but real value exchange. Well, you go play a golf tournament, and you can mine cryptocurrencies by being out there having fun. You want to do a tailgate party? Tailgate parties are huge. Imagine going to a tailgate party where everybody that's at the tailgate party, the more people that get there, the more you mine cryptocurrencies. How do you do that? Do this. Here's the map. Guys, this is the one slide that you should print out big and put on your wall, because if you take nothing from me tonight, you take nothing from this video at all, you think I'm crazy or like whatever you think of me, I don't really care, but take this and at least put it on your wall and make fun of me later or whatever, I don't know. But I'm telling you, this slide right now, this is why I've been speaking for the last 2 hours and 5 minutes. Is this right here. The central part of this being games. Everything we're going to be doing going forward is driven by games. You think that's bullshit? I'm telling you. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all of these guys. Apple's a great example. They're all games. They're all gamifying us to death. Apple's own platform, the iPhone, they just had a whole bunch of lawsuits filed against them because of the damage it's doing to children. Because the gamification is so good, it fires off dopamine in our brain every time we do certain actions inside our phones. It's not just games, it's gamification, it's reality gamification. And I'm not talking about you're going to sit and go and live in a virtual reality world and you mine cryptocurrencies. Yeah, that'll exist. That's a gimmicky kind of thing. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you live your life. You do the same things you do now anyway, and it's mining cryptocurrencies. Here's how you do it. I've been saying it for a while. Games, 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 games. And I don't mean games as you're playing a video game, you're playing a board game, any of that. I'm talking about gamification. It's what's being done to you every single day on the internet. All these big tech companies have mastered gamification. Mastered it. That's why it's in the middle, green, and it points to everything, because the games drive everything. And the games is the contribution and connection that everybody wants. The dopamine kick everybody wants. So instead of stealing people's energy and using that for your own corporate greed to drive up stock prices, you funnel that back to the people and you get a resonance effect from that. So here's how we're doing it in all games. Now this is my own kind of theory here, but just run with it for a second. I think you'll agree. So this game that I'm launching, that I'm basically going to sell you guys tonight. So you know, I'm selling you something that's going to cost 99 bucks. That's it. It's called Project Platinum. And in this game, there's two sides to every game, I believe. It's a watcher and player side. I'll use the NFL as an example. So just pretend that this game was going to be a fantasy football team, for example. So the NFL, there's two sides to the NFL, right? From a watcher and player standpoint. Now you understand the players. In the NFL, there's all these players. They play football. They go out there and they do their thing. They work their lives to be the best at playing whatever position they play. That's what they do. That's their contribution to the game. But here's the thing. The NFL in that game would not exist if there wasn't anybody watching the game. Nobody gives a shit. Well, that's not true. Some people just play the game for the fun of it. You know, a lot of people do that, so I shouldn't say that. But I'm telling you, it wouldn't be a game that has any revenue flowing through it. You got to have the watchers too, because the watchers are the ones that create the fantasy football leagues, the ones that compile all the stats, the ones that paying attention to all the rules, making sure everybody does everything the right way. You couldn't get guys playing on fantasy football to go play football at all. They would never be able to do it, and vice versa. You're not going to get very many pro football guys that actually can go and crunch the stats and all the nerdy stuff that goes on in that kind of world. So you apply that to everything, and you start to see how a picture of the world's forming, guys. Every game, every situation in life, I would submit to you, has this component to it. And you can go back and forth between the two in your own life and your own versions of games, your own versions of how you should run this for your own business. This, what I failed to mention earlier, is that you should put this on your wall and put your own game here in the middle. Put your own game here in the middle, and I'll show you how this is going to work in a second. I'm going to explain every bullet or every bubble on this thing. Put your own business in the middle and engage customers this way going forward. And if you don't, you're going to be competing against everybody who is. It's the future. This is the future, no question. Coincidentally, I forgot to bring up something. I read an article written by a behavioral psychologist the other day who actually works for Facebook. And obviously you can see, guys, they have an entire staff of behavioral psychologists. Now, why would they have that? Because they're running gamification on you. That's how they make money. But what's important about it is an interview of this guy. And it was anonymous, but he said he's a behavioral psychologist that works at Facebook. And in the interview, they asked him, about the constant changes in Facebook's interface and the tools and how things, always moving, it's always constant in flux. And they asked him, why do they do that? And you'd expect the answer to be because they're improving systems, and want to make it easier for people to use and make it easier for things to find, all the stuff that normal humans that actually care about other humans would do. But that's not the answer he gave at all. Guess what the answer he gave was? He said they do this because every time they change the interface and move things around, it creates confusion. And in that confusion, people are trying to find things and going around, and what happens is they spend more time on the platform, and it creates an uptick in advertiser revenue. They don't give a shit about you. You are their product. They want you confused, sitting in the corner, getting your dopamine kick with a tech neck, staring at your phone all damn day. So while they steal your value and sell it to advertisers and create constant confusion by constantly shifting the interface around, so you're constantly in a little bit of a stupor and a kind of a hypnotic state going between dopamine kick and confusion. That's where they want you all the time. They can extract maximum amount of data from you that way, and it actually creates an uptick in advertiser revenue. You want to give fucking assholes like that money? I don't. That's why this is the future, because this model turns that completely upside down and puts the value exchange squarely back into the hands of the human on the other end of all this. That's critically important. So these games / gamification got two sides, watcher, player. So on the player side, I'm putting this in terms of a business now. Now, skip the NFL model, you get that now. Let's boil it down into what you can apply to your own online business today and leverage and bridge the gap between all this future stuff I've been talking about and what's going on today. Because here's the important part, this post-Google thing. So the two cases I've laid out, one, Google is basically going to have all their assets seized because all their connection to corruption and all these evil people around the world doing human trafficking and major corruption. That's one case, and you can make the case of that very easy. The second case is that Google is just not going to shift, not pivoting. They're already not pivoting fast enough. Google should have already launched a blockchain-based internet. They've got all the server farms. If they actually cared about humanity, they would have already built some sort of blockchain-based internet that could be trusted. But they didn't. They have the resources. They didn't. Well, they did. They just didn't give you access to it. They have all kinds of private ones. Even worse, what they've done is used all of this stuff, all this value that we've put in the world, all this content, all this SEO, all this social media stuff. They've they've used us to train their fucking automated or their artificial intelligence, their AI. They used us to train their AI. I'm gonna say it again. They used us to train their AI, and now the AI is going to supplant all the search engines. It's already happening. Siri, like you go ask Siri on your cell phone, hey, what about this or that? What's it doing? It's going and doing a Google search. Guess what doesn't show up when Siri goes and does that? Any of the ads or any of your search results. So I'm telling you this because Google has majorly de-emphasized search engine optimization, search engine results, SERPs, search engine results pages. Back several years ago, it used to be all the talk of always. Every time Google did some sort of shift, it was the Penguin update, it was the Google slap, it was the this update, it was the that Google slap, Google slap 2, Google dance, Google all this bullshit. Guess why we don't hear about that anymore, guys? Number one, they constantly do these updates every single day in real time now because the AI has gotten better. They don't have to do all these mass updates. But the biggest thing is they've actually de-emphasized it. They've moved on. That's why they moved in and changed created an umbrella company called Alphabet and put it over the top of all this stuff. Where has all their focus been on? Self-driving cars, these crazy ass scary robots they're building at Boston Dynamics that they bought, smart home systems by Nest, the company they bought, Artificial intelligence, guys. Artificial intelligence goes completely against the search engine business. It doesn't even make any sense that they're invested in that. At first, when I'm looking at that, why are they buying all these? Why are they buying all these AI companies? It doesn't make any sense until you start seeing where it's headed. So the search engine of today, Google that exists today with AdWords and all this search engine stuff that everybody's trying to do and compete for, that's dying. Because blockchain technology, decentralized content management, digital rights management it's already here. It already exists. It's already happening on Ethereum. Smart contracts delivering music that you can trust that it wasn't stolen. All that kind of stuff. Stuff's already here, guys. It's already here. Hundreds of billions of dollars poured into it last year alone. This year will be the explosion of all that. You're going to see all these altcoins go through the freaking roof. But it's just a temporary thing. Because the future of this is actually taking people's value, giving it back to them through this model that's on the screen. So what we're going to do with this is two sides of this, the watcher and player. So think about this again in terms of your own business. You want to create a game, gamify your business in a way to replicate this model somehow, and you're going to crush it, both now and in the future. Here's why. Because you take a compensation plan. Compensation plan, I just specifically labeled it compensation plan because it could be a compensation plan for an MLM company. It could be just an affiliate program. It could be any sort of way that you pay commissions or you're paid commissions in whatever you do on the internet. Most of you guys understand affiliate marketing. That's a compensation plan. That's all it is. So I'm going to use this in the terms of the network marketing model, MLM, because it fits perfectly. I'm telling you, the very first, I've been saying it for a while, the very first network marketing company that really nails the blockchain version is going to crush it. Why? For lots of reasons, not just because it's cryptocurrency and blockchain and all the buzzwords, because that's where the shift is happening. Think about this. American Express rewards points, airline flight miles, any credit card rewards points. Amazon has new rewards points. We go in there all the time and we spend so much money on Amazon, like all of us do, that we've got these points built up. So often I log in there and I'm able to buy stuff on Amazon. I'm just using points I accrued. So my cost is so great. I get to check out. It says balance due 0. But is it? No, because I actually spent some of my points. Whenever you go turn in your Southwest Airlines flight miles to get a free flight, did you get a free flight? No, you didn't. You paid for it somewhere. They're not, it's not a charity. They're just handing out free shit, free flights. No, what they did was gamify you. Amazon or Amex, American Express, has a huge rewards point system. You can buy all kinds of stuff on there. So is that free? They're just giving that stuff away free? No. There's a value exchange created. They're discounting some of their profits back to you and putting it in a gamified point system wrapped around a gamified system. They're not calling it a game because that would give away the play. If you logged in and saw your Southwest points and they said, oh, you're going to play a flight game. The more flights you accrue, well, guess what? You got the junior flight badge. You get that. No, it would blow the whole thing. Instead, what they make you believe is that you're getting free shit whenever you get from American Express, or you're getting free flights from any of these airlines. No, guys, they're gamifying it. So the first MLM company that takes that idea, puts those points on a blockchain, that becomes a cryptocurrency. Think about this, guys. Google and Facebook both could automatically take over the entire world, basically, if they turned their likes, views, and followers. Think about it just Facebook. Everybody loves getting likes and reactions and all that stuff on Facebook. In the end, they mean nothing. They mean nothing to us. It's just a bunch of smiley, happy stuff, you know. What does it mean to Facebook? Well, hundreds of billions of dollars in revenue, because what they do on the back end is they apply a value to that. What we're playing with is the front end smiley stuff and getting nothing from it. But they're gamifying the back end, and they're basically creating money flow out of it. So what all they'd have to do is, instead of having you get 100 likes or whatever on something, you get 100 points, and those 100 points would be secured by the Facebook coin, and you'd be able to take the piece of those Facebook coins you generated from your value exchange you put in there from delivering all this kind of cool content. You'd be able to take that and go buy Bitcoin with it, or go buy something with it. That's the future we're moving to. In fact, there's a company called Steemit. It's a social media company right now. It's kind of like a Reddit kind of Medium kind of combination. It's a social network that does this very thing. You get paid in cryptocurrencies. It's exactly what I'm talking about. The difference is these big platforms, these big tech giants are really good at gamification. That's the piece that's been missing from the alternatives that have been put out so far. So you take those points systems, think about this in terms of an MLM company. MLM companies, they all have some sort of game. Think about it. Any MLM company you know about, they all have some sort of ranking system. You get some sort of ranks, blue diamond this or whatever, there's all kinds of these ranks you get. Badges or whatever you want to call it. You get your pin, you get various ranks. And in those ranks are all generated from some sort of volume of sales that you'd run through a system. So you get some sort of commission from making sales, but on top of that, you get points that usually make you rank, and that rank gets you more bonuses. Think about this, guys. All those volume points are part of this compensation plan. That compensation plan, like the first MLM company that opens up and turns those ranking systems, the exact same systems that are on your rewards points, your flight miles, and on your Facebook likes, views, and followers, it's cryptocurrency. Turn that compensation plan points, the game of that. Let me back up here. So you take the piece of that compensation plan that's the game part, and then you use this local activity mining. Let me activate this here. I've been talking about to create the coins. And then it creates a feedback loop, which creates more compensation plan, which increases the game, and all this local activity mining create more coins. So that's the player side. What you got is a player out there doing whatever they do as an affiliate, getting traffic, doing large scale SEO. Pay attention. We're going to cover this in a second. Large scale SEO, getting in front of people, generating commissions. Playing a game, getting more points, getting rank advancing, getting weekly payouts, whatever it is. And then through that, with the right kind of setup, you're doing local activity mining is creating coins. So then on the other side of this game, you got the watchers, the guys who have no interest in being involved in, say, a network marketing company, rah, and all that, because, network marketing kind of sucks. You know why? Because everybody hates selling. You got to sell a bunch of products you don't give a shit about. But on the watcher side of this, what you can do is SEO local lead gen. Super easy to rank SEO. I'm talking about stuff that you could rank like within minutes, not even months or weeks or days, like something that could rank almost damn instantly with a YouTube video. Long tail, super easy to rank for keywords. It's unlimited marketplace. SEO local lead gen, I'm going to give you the niches that are hot for this right now, too. Don't forget about that. And then doing the software mining in conjunction. That's the one thing that's missing over here. We just got the compensation on the player side. But on the SEO side, you can be doing local lead gen that ties into this exact same game. So you do the mass scale SEO, doing basically what we've done on the internet for the last 20 years. Same thing, nothing new, but drive them into a new kind of compensation plan. That's how you bridge the future. We make money from it now, get money from it now, but then you're also doing this and stacking up coins later as this thing evolves. Make money now, keep existing assets and bridging to the future. When this whole internet shifts to a different way of doing things, you're going to be ahead of this entire curve and not being behind the 8 ball. Wondering what the hell is going on. So you do the local lead gen and then tie in the software mining. This is this permission versus non-permission. So what you've got is not only people that come in through the compensation plan. If they don't come into the compensation plan, you can couple that with having soccer moms sit at home running their computers doing software mining for you. Software permissioned crypto mining. Some version of this is going to be going on always. You got the local activity with the software mining, all creating cryptocurrencies tied to a compensation plan, which creates big resonance because these are all games. SEO Local Legion, that's a game. Your rankings can be turned into a game that you get points for your rankings and the results and the, I mean, you are already gamifying all of your business on the internet by doing all the stuff that you're doing, split testing, checking your stats on traffic. Is it profitable or not? Is your click-through rate this certain amount? Is your, all these stats that you do from paid traffic and stuff, and even SEO. Those are all pieces of a game that can all be gamified. So it all creates this resonance. That's why there's arrows on the ends of all this. It creates this resonant effect. You got the watcher and player side working in resonance, you feed each other. The SEO Local Legion builds up the compensation plan for the player. Player gets more excited about it, goes and does a bunch of rah-rah, does social media, does a bunch of Instagram, gets all the followers, everybody excited about this thing, and then that creates search traffic for the watcher. So the watcher goes and ranks more things, gets more people doing this kind of stuff, people going and doing all the things they want to do anyway, enjoying live playing games, which creates more compensation plan, which creates more points, which gets the player excited about, which goes to the player who wants to do more. You guys see what I'm talking about. It feeds each other. It creates this massive resonance effect. And that's without even knowing all the stuff I've laid out in front of you already. This is a fucking huge opportunity, man. We're ahead of all this because there's a company already that has, the network marketing company I'm talking about has already figured this out and they're about to launch in April. It's this company right here called Live. Now I'm going deep into this. So remember these? These were our 2017 SEO hot niches: Game Master, ICO, cryptocurrency, augmented reality, solar, AI. I was wrong about solar. Thank you, Tesla. Anyway, here's the hot niches for 2018. Screen cap this, guys. Put this on your wall. Go start buying domain names right fucking now. Decentralization of everything. The word DApps, D-A-P-P-S, which is short for decentralized apps. DEX, which is short for decentralized exchange. A company like BitShares, to decentralized exchange. Basically the death knell for places like NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, all those places. Decentralized exchanges. So decentralization of everything is the future. Look for that. Gamification, we've talked a lot about. Crypto mining, we've talked a lot about. AI, we've talked a lot about. Connecting people. Just go to meetup.com and look at the categories. Start doing local ranking for meetup.com categories. Just that alone. I got to highlight this to put some more hyperbole on top of this. This right here, just this part alone, these meetup.com categories, is such a giant opportunity and ridiculously easy to do massive scale SEO for. Using tools that already exist, it costs almost, it's very, very cheap. And you don't have to think about it. Just plug in the content and push buttons and hit go. Easy to rank for and build up leads for this. And then the Live Local, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. So let's talk about traffic. PPC, media buys, and search engine, because this is a lifeblood of all businesses. Everybody wants to know about how to get more traffic. Everybody. What it means is eyeballs, when you get more people in front of your stuff. And this is the way it's done. These three things are the only ones you ever need to worry about. PPC, media buy, search engine, everything else, including social media traffic. To do infinitely scalable stuff, you don't need to worry about it, especially since I really believe social networks are going to be dead before long. So I built a tool a few years ago called the Automon. I didn't build it, actually. Peter Ray, my partner, I'll show you in a second, but he built the tool. But it came from a lot of my background with Google. So I built a thing called Matt's Cool Tools. You know, I wasn't very good at branding. This is back in 2004. It was the very first internet-based tool that I really built. And what it did was it would identify when Google, you know, back then it used to be really hard to get your pages, your website to get indexed in Google. It's kind of hard. Now it just happens automatically, damn near, super easy. But back then it was, you had to engineer it, you know. And I built a thing called Mass Cool Tools, and it's tools to help things get indexed. And it was a little robot thing that would track when Google and Yahoo and any of those search engines would come to your site, scrape it, and it would measure the amount of time. It would see what that bot would do, and it would see when it would index. It could tell when it indexed. So it would send me an email, and it made a little ding sound on my computer for a while. It got really freaking annoying after a while. But from that, what I started learning from all these years of doing all of this kind of stuff, that, you know, I've been a programmer, but looking at data and trading and looking at it from a hedge fund manager's kind of point of view, looking at the data, what I did was it basically reverse engineered Google. What it did was it enabled us to do SEO automation, which has replaced 60 people that we used to have on staff in the Philippines. 2 offices in 2 different cities in the Philippines. 60 people I had on staff at one point at the peak. I got rid of all of them because this tool does all of it for it. Complete SEO automation. You put in your keywords, you put in your URL, and hit go. That's it. You're done with it. You don't think about it ever again. Coupled with that tool is another tool that does mass site building. You know, millions of pages based on local search terms, you know, spread across all the zip codes and cities across the entire United States and in other countries. And you can basically be putting up millions of pages in a single day, literally. So these tools have been, you know, almost 20 years in development, 19 years something in development, almost 20 years in development, and several $1 million. At the last count, you know, I don't know, $5+ million invested in these tools over the years. They work. We reverse engineered Google a long time ago. Look, everybody makes a big deal about all this SEO stuff, and I'm telling you, 99% of it's just fucking religion. Matt Cutts and Google doesn't give a shit about you. They're not trying to help you learn how to rank on their search engine. They want you to give up and just go buy ads. They intentionally made SEO very hard because they don't want you doing SEO and get free traffic off of their system. Even though it is your content and they're stealing it and putting it on their own website, they don't want you to get any of that traffic free. They want you to work for it. It made it really difficult. So they put out all this smoke and mirrors and bullshit, all this religion and doctrine around, dogma, I should say, around, yeah, doctrine and dogma around SEO to make it look like this mysterious thing. It's not. It's a really dumb robot. It reads the pages backwards from bottom to top. When you know just things like that, you can do things. It's very interesting what we figured out. What we figured out is that the Google bot is really pretty stupid. Once you understand how it works, it's really easy. You just give it what it wants. You know what it wants? Very well organized content, so we can figure out what it's looking at very quickly. How do you do that? Old school methods, site maps. So we do some magic stuff with site mapping. That's all I can tell you about it for now, but we reverse engineered Google like a long time ago. So such a long time ago, I don't even think about SEO anymore. So people ask me all these crazy SEO questions because they went and took some course, or they went and Googled something and they found, you know, all this crap about SEO. It's all crap. Just the only thing that matters, title tag, your meta description, and what inbound links you got. That's it. All the other stuff is crap. Traffic is still the king. In the end, everybody just wants more traffic. Everybody watching this right now would love to have 1 million free real eyeballs looking at whatever it is they got. We all want more traffic. It's still the king of everything, no matter what. I don't care how big Bitcoin gets, you're still going to want traffic to your stuff. I'm talking about stupid amounts of traffic, millions of clicks per day, server stopping traffic, which we've sent many times. I still have SEO campaigns I put out years ago that sends traffic off to places that's going into a black hole. You know, there's the projects that were connected to them, affiliate programs connected, all that stuff just went away. I built out this whole thing and they went away. Still massive traffic, mass SEO, the set and forget type. I'm talking about, when I say mass SEO, I'm talking about tools that build out these massive pages, millions at a time, and upload them automatically. They automatically get indexed, automatically get ranked. You tie them into the Automati tool that automatically does all the ranking for you. You just got to make sure the title tag and the meta description is good enough, and the keyword density is sort of okay. That's it. It's really, 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 really easy. So here's some of the results I've had from traffic. 50,000 in a day is, you know, I've done 100,000 a day many times. I had a $40 million SEO contract for a while. Actually turned it down for another opportunity. Over 50,000 first page Google rankings over the years. That was at my peak. And about 15,000 of those are number one. Still 15,000 of those are number one. That's inside of our systems. So my $40 million SEO contract, people ask me about it a lot. Is years ago, I was heavy into the CPA world with driving traffic to CPA offers. The biggest thing that we did was driving traffic to insurance companies, delivering insurance leads. You basically fill out a form, you do a thing called host and post, and send it to their system, basically an API, putting leads into the back end. And the way I did it was mass scale SEO using these exact tools. And what I owned was, I used to own car insurance with the 2-letter state code. So CA for California, MO for Missouri, MI for Michigan, FL for Florida. You got to get it. Car insurance, 2-letter state code, .com, .net, or .org for all 50 states. I owned all of those and had them all ranking obviously very well. And then also I had health insurance with the same thing, .net, .com, .net, .org for all 50 states. That was an empire. I eventually sold it all off and let it all go to other things. But that was what it was about, was selling that data for that SEO contract. And I'm telling you guys, with what I'm telling you tonight, the tools that I've already shown you, you could do this exact thing, except in bigger scales, because guess what? What used to be a big asset with having those domain names back then doesn't matter at all now. Like, not at all, not even a little bit. In fact, having the keywords like that in your domain name now is a detriment. I'm telling you, this whole thing that generated $40 million SEO contract for me back years ago is even easier now. Anybody can do this. You don't want to go and do it in insurance, obviously. That's flooded. But what you do, you go after these niches I already told you about. These. Get in front of this stuff. There's no competition here. Nothing. Nobody. I lost my place here. So with this kind of thing, it's a set and forget kind of thing. You do just such a mass scale, it's so automated. I don't think about SEO at all anymore. The only time I think about it at all is when people inside of our automotive Facebook group ask me questions about it. I don't, because we don't actively even test SEO stuff anymore. We don't have to, because our tools a long time ago, we applied machine learning to them. They have active machine learning. They learn. So when things change, they do small changes. They do small changes over time. So we set and forget. And work, I put work as a question mark here, because with these tools, guys, you can sit around and you could either farm it out to somebody in the Philippines. These tools are, you just got to train somebody the buttons to push and when to push them. That's it. Or you can push the buttons yourself and do that kind of work and get these sites ranking for yourself. That's work. It is work, but you're just pushing buttons. If you consider that work, it is work. You want to build more, a lot more, trust me, because once you can see that you can do this real easy, why not do it every day? Why not have 100 million websites by this time next year? Or not websites, but 100 million pages. Sounds like a lot, but whenever you're talking about the tools we have, it's not. It's really not. Just shooting on the low end if you're working at it. So with traffic, you always have to pay for it. Well, I said here on the slide, pay for it or work for it, which means pay for it, because you're paying for it with your time. Either way, you're paying for it. There is no such thing as free traffic, except for, as I just think about this, the resonance effect that this kind of stuff creates, the resonance of a player bouncing off of your SEO, local lead gen stuff, that creates a resonance effect. Guess what resonance means? Guys, if you look up resonance in nature, resonance in music, resonance in electronic circuits, especially resonance in music and electronic circuits, resonance means you put more than one input in the, how am I going to say this without getting too technical? Resonance basically creates this higher state of energy from two sources, essentially. Resonance effect, which you'll get inside of a system like that. There is no such thing as free traffic, but you can get that resonance effect, which will generate free traffic, essentially. However, that as you do SEO, that traffic that you basically, as you're building out and getting these long tail search terms ranking, that creates what traffic that it gets really close to free. I mean, you're still paying for servers and all that stuff that cost, but I mean, this stuff is a few $100 a month. It's not like a giant, I mean, you can spend a lot, but I'm not talking about a ton of money here. What happens is eventually that traffic can get to near zero, very near. I mean, sub 1 penny per click kind of thing. So with all these things, PPC, media buy, search engines, here's the problem. PPC, Google sucks, as we know already. Anybody that's tried to do AdWords over the years, holy shit, man. Used to be great back 2003, 2004, 2003 when it launched. We used to run AdWords. It was so easy. I would upload a spreadsheet that had 1 million keywords on it, 1 million on one spreadsheet. We just upload it and let it rip. No tracking, no even like putting a bid on the. We just open it wide up. Not even a bid really for the click price. We just upload. Man, it was easy, so easy, and so fast. We used to split test headlines. Used to split test email subject lines using Google AdWords because it was so fast. You'd throw up a little split test and run 2 little ads, and you'd have your results in 15 minutes. You'd spend $5, $10, and you'd figure out, oh, that email subject line is going to pull better. You can't even come close to doing that on anywhere now, not especially Google. AdWords is so easy to get banned. All they care about is catering to corporate America now, big corporate America. So Google sucks big time. We talked about Facebook sucks, trying to do PPC there. It's extremely hard. You guys have all tried it. I've had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands at this point, AdWords and Facebook accounts banned over the years, trying to run traffic on stuff. We've done it, you know, we've had to do cloaking and all kinds of goofy stuff over the years, but man, that gets really old after a while, trying to play that cloak and dagger game, all this black hat crap. It sucks, it's so stressful. You get stuff cranking over so many times, man. Me and a lot of my friends, we get stuff cranking, you know, making 10 grand a day, 20 grand a day, 50 grand a day, woohoo, yeah, we think we won the lottery, right? Well, you wake up in the morning and all your accounts are dead. Happens with this stuff often, man. It gets frustrating after a while. You eventually say, fuck it, I'm just not going to do that anymore. With media buys, it becomes very hard to do because media buys, that's the biggest traffic you can get, but it takes a lot of money, and you got to have a lot of relationships with the networks. I mean, it requires talking to people and putting in big contracts and having a big upfront buy usually, or some very long-term relationship. It's difficult to do media buys at scale. And search engines, like we're talking about already, Google still sucks, but we own them. So why not just go there? So with my partner, Peter Ray from Ad Labs, he's SEO and software genius. We built out the thing, and we're launching this game. I'm going to teach about the whole thing, about what we're doing with this and how it all relates to cryptocurrencies, where the cryptocurrencies are coming from, how we monetize it, how we create our own cryptocurrencies, how you can tie this into your own business, and most importantly, how to scale out this SEO local lead gen part of this, because this is the part that I see as the biggest opportunity right now. For not only me and my team, but this group that's probably watching this. This is where you really want to be. These two right here, this software mining of cryptocurrencies, permission-based system, and this SEO local lead gen to create this local activity mining concept that mines cryptocurrency. This is where we're going to be, because they can do this local SEO local lead gen thing at ridiculous scale. Ridiculous scale. Huge, huge, huge. Well, I'm telling you guys, this is the biggest SEO project I've ever done. Remember, I used to have 60 people on staff doing SEO. This is the biggest SEO project I've ever done. The last very large SEO project I did generated a $40 million SEO contract. This is the biggest SEO project I'm ever doing, guys, because I see the opportunity. I see very clearly where everything's headed. I see Google being upended. I see shitty politicians around the world being upended. I see the pyramid of control completely being flipped upside down and putting people first. The ones at the top are going to be serving the people above them, which is the way the world should work. That's where we're moving. The entire world, whether you like it or not, I'm going to get a little woo-woo on you guys, but the entire world is moving towards a more spiritual place, a more connected place, a place where we all hang out and do more things that are beneficial to humans first, profit second. This is the biggest SEO project I'm ever going to do. So to do it, I need a lot of people to help me. mean, I can do it all myself, sit here in my office and, you know, do it all I could. We already do all this stuff. I've been doing it for 20 years. No different than I've been doing for 20 years. Except we've got this opportunity right now until April of 2018, where this company that's launching, which I believe is going to be the first company to really nail this cryptocurrency, blockchain, compensation plan kind of thing, they launched to the public in April. We've got until April to get this, watch your side, to get as much of this massive local lead gen using SEO, both on YouTube and on Google. And don't forget about Yahoo and all that. We don't even really think about Yahoo and any other search engine anymore because they all use Google's data anymore. They all just gave up and just use Google's data typically. But regardless, you usually start ranking on the other search engines if you focus on Google anyway. So when I say Google, I mean all the search engines, but this is where everything's headed. So this SEO local lead gen for us is ridiculously easy. So it's just a massive opportunity, guys. And it's so big that I've been saying for a while now that we could all go after just those meetup.com categories and never even bump heads with each other. I'm talking about SEO, guys. I'm not talking about, oh, you got one ranking on a page. I'm talking about we're taking over every spot on a page. All 10 spots on the 10 results you see on the Google search engine results will be our spots, because you're talking about long tail stuff that you can go out that's super easy to rank for. So we're diving into this big time. I'm going to be teaching this live coming up here, Profit Blocks Live. It's an event I'm holding coming up this very weekend, Saturday, January 20th, here in San Diego at the Hilton Torrey Pines La Jolla. It's $99. That's it. Remember I told you I was going to sell you something on this thing? There you go. It's 99 bucks. It's a live workshop. We're just going to work one day, all day working, no breaks. I mean, it sounds terrible, doesn't it? But what I mean by breaks, I mean this is not an event where having speakers come in, we got certain content, and we got breakout room. No, this is we're coming in, sitting down with your computers, breaking up into groups, and getting shit done. We're talking about firing up these tools that I've been teaching you about, showing you how to use them. You turn them on, you start building websites that day. We have domain names ready to go. We got keywords ready to go. We know what we're ranking for. We just got to split up the work and go after this thing. It's such a massive opportunity. With this resonance, this effect going to create, guys. Here's the thing. Something you need to understand about this company. Live. It's started by 3 guys. It started a company called ViSalus. Blake Mallon, Nick Sarnicola, and Ryan Blair. Many years ago, they started a company called ViSalus, and that company blew up by selling a protein shake and various other things. And they had a really cool concept, several concepts that they invented that revolutionized the network marketing industry. And what's interesting about that is they took this to $2 billion in sales. $2 billion in sales. Got bought out by a publicly traded company, the whole thing. I mean, they hit it big. But here's the thing, guys. I missed it all. I was sitting in on the original planning meeting. They hired me to do SEO for them. And I went and ranked some of the sites and outranked their corporate site. I got their corporate site ranking for the right words and all that stuff. And then I sat and watched it. Back then, this was almost 10 years ago. I was doing other things, I was mostly partying and being a dipshit. But, I had very, very powerful functioning business doing CPA stuff, driving paid traffic like crazy, doing SEO for other things. For clients, I was just busy. I didn't care about MLM. I can't stand MLM. So they hired me as a consultant. I helped them out with their thing, went and ranked their sites, and then I watched them blow up big time. They went from nothing. I sat in this little crappy office they had in LA, and they're playing this whole thing, and I'm like, oh, go for it, guys. Sounds awesome. I'll help you with your SEO, but leave me out of it. So they left me out. But you know what happened? Here's what happened, guys. That little site that I ranked, I had one site that I outranked their company's site with. Their corporate site, their main corporate site. My site that I built, that they let me kind of build for kind of proof of concept of this, they let me run one, and I outranked their site, the company site, which gave me a lot of search traffic, because as they ramped this thing up, they had all these people involved in this thing really excited. They're really good at getting people revved up and producing results. People losing weight, traveling around, making money, all this kind of thing, which created a giant amount of what? Search engine traffic. A whole lot of people searching for them. What is this ViSalus thing? How do I lose weight with ViSalus? All these things. That created a giant amount of search engine traffic. Exactly what I'm talking about. The players out there, I call them a bunch of soccer moms because that's kind of what it was. A bunch of soccer moms out there ranting and raving about it, created all of this search engine traffic that created this SEO local lead gen. That site that I had outranking the company website back in the day, at one point it was doing like 10 grand a month. I don't even know how much money I made from it, but it kind of died over time because guess what happened? As they saw that result happening, as the company blew up, they had one of their top producers. They referred him to me. His name's Tim. And Tim came to me and said, hey, man, I'll pay you 15 grand or whatever. Well, I think it was 15 grand. I'll pay you 15 grand. He came down for the day. He brought his entire team down to San Diego from LA. And I taught his team SEO. This was almost 10 years ago, guys. This is before we had all these cool automation tools. We had some back then, but I'm talking about this is the old school way of doing hard SEO when it was hard. A lot harder it is now. We just push buttons now, don't think about it. Back then, you actually had to do it and hire a bunch of people and all this stuff. Software has replaced all this stuff. It's damn near fully automated business now. But anyway, Tim took his team. I spent a day with him. I taught him all the deep insider stuff, including how to use press releases, all the cutting edge stuff that we did back in the day. And then he went and did it mass scale. And he went on and made tens of millions of dollars. I don't know how much money he made, but he made ridiculous amounts of money. It was tens of millions. I don't know, but he made a lot of money. But what he did was he just did this mass scale SEO. He went and ranked for all of these terms around ViSalus. Got in front of all that search traffic, all of that player traffic, all the player generated traffic. He became the watcher, got in front of this traffic, drove all those leads through this model, driving through this game. None of the bottom of this really existed. It was just driving through this game to the, let me highlight this. So he did this part. Drove through the game of the compensation plan of that company and did this resonance effect, right in here. So none of this existed, obviously, this part back then. What he did through there, created automated wealth, massive amounts. He did so well with it, he broke their compensation plan. They had to fix it. They had to readjust the way their bonuses paid out. They had to adjust their ranks, all these things. That's how powerful it was. Guess what? Same company, different idea. This time, everybody's sick of trying to sell like protein shakes and all this kind of stuff. It's very hard. It's hard to sell products, any kind of product in a marketplace today, especially with the MLM model. Everybody's sick of it. Everybody. Nobody likes it. I mean, some people like it. My wife loves it. But even though she loves it, it's gotten very hard to do the typical MLM thing with trying to sell some sort of product. Doesn't matter what the product is. Everybody's sick of it. Why? Because you're competing against the internet. It's the Amazon effect. Like, how are you going to compete against the internet and Amazon and eBay trying to sell a product, especially when it's a product that's usually a commodity that you're strictly fighting over price, and then you got to jack up the price to the insane levels to justify a multi-tiered compensation plan? Forget it. That's why it's so hard to do MLM these days. The internet killed it. The internet killed it. But here's the cool thing. Live has launched with a new model, and the new model is this. It's the human activity portion. There is no product. The product and the compensation plan is just people getting together. You either go on trips, and it's not a discount travel thing. It's not like that. Travel's part of it, but part of it could be just going to your golf tournament, doing the tailgate party. It's called Live Local. It's local events, people getting together to do whatever they do anyway, and they put a compensation plan on it. You know how you got to make it work to put a compensation plan on it? Here's the example from the golf tournament I did the other day. Bad Santa golf tournament I went to the other day, just before Christmas, obviously. I don't know, there was a couple hundred people there. They all paid $50. And the girl that organized that, she organized this meetup group, and she does a shitload of work organizing with the the golf course and with all the participants and getting everybody organized and organizing all the prizes, and it's a lot of work. And she may make a few $100, right? Mostly she's doing it because she loves golf and likes hanging around people playing these fun golf tournaments. So the difference with that exact thing, just put the live compensation plan over the top of it. What she's doing then would just be exactly what she was doing before, except now, when she starts off with things, she'll just do a little, very, very short, just a couple of minutes, not like anything. Very, very low key, couple of minute thing saying, hey, this whole golf tournament is a live local event, and I get paid money through this compensation plan of this company by putting this together. And all of you get a piece of this compensation plan too because you attended it. And if you got your mobile wallet with you, you get coins. Now, that's not available right now, but that's what's coming when they launch it to the public. Listen to me, guys. They're doing what they're going to be doing already, except they got a compensation plan tied to it. And every attendee, when they download their mobile wallet, gets cryptocurrency whenever they launch that part of it to the public. They're not launching until April. They're not launching until for customers until April. The customer side of this thing is the most attractive part for me because MLM companies got a giant problem in that the product sales that they typically have are not real product sales. They're only product sales generated by the promoters. It's called a Ponzi scheme. And the FTC hates it. Everybody hates it. Nobody actually likes it. Everybody would much rather have a real company that has a real product they produce, and then they have promoters on the side that make money too. But that's not what happens in MLM typically. And you guys all know that. Most of you experience it at some level. That sucks. Everybody's over it, done with it, sick of it. What's happening now, though, with this new thing, there is no product. Because there is no product to sell, the only thing that you've got is people getting together. So the promoters, the players in this scenario, the players working this compensation plan, they're the people that just get people together and do meetups. Could be anybody. If you got a meetup group of any kind, getting people together to do things. So here's where it gets interesting, because all of a sudden this opens up to such a broad scope that it makes this entire project nearly infinite. I think it is infinite. Because it boils down to just getting people together and doing what they're going to do anyway and just paying them more money. They get paid money to do what they're going to do anyway. And it reaches across everything because it's tied into just doing local events. And what's smart about this is they're launching the cryptocurrency. Their compensation plan not only has the compensation plan where you get paid your normal paycheck and bonuses and all that stuff too, but there's nothing to sell. Anybody can sell people on getting a party together. Look at the people that, man, a really great example, this is tailgate parties. You go to a professional football game, for example, and see the effort that people put into tailgate parties. I mean, these things get very elaborate. I mean, they spend a lot of money and a lot of time, and they'll charge a little bit for it. Think about that, guys. These people are doing this anyway for the love of that party and football or whatever it is they love doing. Oftentimes, they don't even watch the damn football game. They're just getting together with people. This is why this is future. Because you turn that into a live local event, and that's really literally all you got to do is just maybe throw up a live banner thing out there or whatever and say, hey, I'm doing this through live. You know, if you want to learn how to make money from doing your own tailgate party, come join me. Or it doesn't have to be tailgate, it can be anything. You want to make money from getting people together, come talk to me. That's it. That's the entire presentation. No selling whatsoever. They're like, well, I get people together for parties all the time. I'd love to make extra money. It's ridiculously easy, guys. And guess what that makes that easy to do for us internet marketers? Automate it with automated funnels. Guys, what happens with MLM quite often is it becomes damn near impossible to really work on the internet. Because here's the thing, whenever you're trying to drive traffic, like we used to do big time for CPA offers for like weight loss or skin cream, or especially weight loss, then you're going to go try to run traffic for a weight loss MLM. Good luck trying to get customers, because guess what? You're competing against every other weight loss product out there. And guess what? If you're doing an MLM version, the other products are cheaper, guaranteed, because they're not trying to fill a multi-tiered compensation plan. got to be enough fat in that price of that product to distribute around multiple tiers of. That's what makes MLM work. That price product has to be more expensive. So you're trying to run CPA traffic, for example, to an MLM offer. I've never seen it work. It might work for a little bit. You can kind of do it, but it's incredibly hard to scale. It's very difficult. You can do it, but it's, man, you got to be badass at this stuff. But guess what? When there's no product and it's some people that are interested in stuff they're doing anyway, and you're like, wait, I'm going to make money and I'm going to get crypto for doing this too. Holy shit. It's easy to automate. You start throwing in words on the page that get people excited, like cryptocurrency and coins and all these things. It's even easier. When people start realizing that all they got to do is exactly what they were doing before, and they get more money and they get crypto tied to it as well, this thing's going big, guys. So I know already, I was in Vegas with them. This team just launched. We just launched December 15th. There's already, I don't know, 300 people in the company now. There were 77 people sitting in the room in Vegas when I saw all of this. Not even a month, what's 1 month yesterday. 300 people. So there's already over 300% growth in this thing. We just started. It's not even launched to public yet. So this, guys, this is going to generate that resonance effect. All of these people in this shouting about this in different ways than I'm doing it, really talking about this side of thing is going to create that resonance effect, create that search traffic, because people are going to be searching. What is this live local thing? Oh, and then once they find out what live local is, they're going to be searching for live local events all over the place. You watch me. You can either sit and watch it happen, or you can come join me. So I'm going to teach about what we're doing with this, the whole thing, how we're scaling it out at this live event. So matttrainer.com/PB live. If you can't come live to be here live at the event, we are live streaming, as you see on the screen here. We're live streaming on Zoom, which means the recording will be available immediately. Obviously, it won't be edited or fancier and this stuff. This is a workshop. We're sitting down to work. This is not a fancy event. We're all getting together and rah-rah and high-fiving and patting each other on the back. We'll do that after we make a bunch of money from all this. We'll do that later. Now it's time to get to work, because we got till April. April, they go public with this, guys, and until April, you are going to start seeing this company everywhere. You watch, because people like me got big fucking mouths out there shouting about this thing big time, and I'm not missing this opportunity. I missed out on easy millions of dollars before by not jumping on by Salas, their SEO. I was there from the beginning. I didn't even do anything with it. It's crazy. I'm not doing it again. Especially when it's tied into all the stuff I've laid out for you guys tonight, the future of everything. It's the bridge to the future. You can make money currently from it. It's just massive. So for 99 bucks, you can come here live next Saturday. We're just going to start in the morning and just go all day until we're done. I'll lay out the plan. I'm going to show you the tools. And the other thing we've got here, tools, you're going to get access to private software. Now, over the years, you know, I've told you guys about, like, I have all this automated SEO software. It's all badass, but that's the public-facing version that has a nice graphical user interface that you know, normal people can use. But what you don't see is 20 years of development of all these internal private tools. We don't show anybody. It's just stupid to give away all your tricks. And our tools, like, they're powerful, they're badass, they work. We have thousands of results at this point, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of testimonials. They work big time. You're going to get access to our private tools that are even better, that do things with video on YouTube and all kinds of really slick stuff you guys haven't thought about. Plus, you get access to our private Facebook group, our private Slack channel, where we're already working as a team on building this. We've already started compiling keywords. You're going to get exclusive keywords. Now, I say exclusive keywords just because, like, the market's so big, we could all go compete on, like I said, we could all just go to meetup.com categories and just compete on those. It's an infinite business. It's so massive, because by the time you put on zip codes on the end of each one of those and live local on the front of it, it becomes really long tail stuff that's super easy to rank for, and that search traffic will be there, just like Salas did. And here's the cool thing. Because it's meetup.com or that kind of stuff, you're automatically going to pick up that traffic too. So there's other ways to monetize it with the permissioned crypto mining. Think about that. You don't even have to be driving this exact traffic tier. We're going to talk about all of these things about how to monetize this. So the exclusive keyword, yeah, let's finish that thought. So we've got all these keywords. I know exactly where search traffic's going for the most part. I mean, I can't read all the future, but I know very, very closely where this what traffic is at. Live local. So for example, earlier, where I put up, here it is. Live local search term. So live local golf tournament, live local golf tournament San Diego, live local golf tournament Carlsbad. Those all are coming into play. Like, so think about this. It wouldn't make much sense to even try to go rank for golf tournament San Diego before. Forget the live local part. Why would you want to go search for rank for golf tournament San Diego or golf tournament Los Angeles or golf tournament Paducah, Kentucky, wherever? I mean, unless you're in the golf course business or some kind of business, you know how to convert that lead somehow. It's not worth having all those resources out there. Not a really easy way to monetize it. So what this does is open up all of these kinds of keywords from before that like wouldn't make any sense to put all the resources into building out these properties for these keywords. All of a sudden you got a way to monetize them. If nothing else, you can monetize them through the permission crypto thing, but you're going to create this resonance effect. You're going to find the golfers that love golf tournaments. They'll love this. Oh shit, yeah, I'll talk about this compensation plan. I get to do more golf and I get to get more people together. Hell yeah. It opens up the keywords dramatically. So what we're doing is I've got this keyword grouping figured out. So we're sitting in a group. We're going to break up into groups and take ownership of blocks of these keywords, show you guys how to use our tools to go take over and own this marketplace. I'm going to swallow this entire marketplace whole. And as a team, we can do it, guys. Because here's what's going to happen. Either we do it or somebody else is going to do it. Because guess what? I'm not the only guy that knows SEO, and I'm not the only guy that's going to see this opportunity, or girl. You guys get what I'm saying? It's not a gender thing. It sucks that we live in a world I have to qualify that sentence. I guess I don't have to. Anyway, there's other people that know SEO that are going to get in front of this traffic. We might as well be there first and already have a lot of authority and a lot of base and hundreds of millions of rankings before all those people get here. It's coming. Guarantee you, it's coming. So I'm gonna get in front of it. So come learn how to do it. MattTrainer.com PB Live. It is $100, but you're gonna get all this stuff plus profit blocks training, which I talked about earlier. You saw module 6. You guys remember that? This was the training. I've got 8 weeks of training or so in there already. You get access to that. And then I will explain what the 6-month rating room is at the event. This gives the ability for me to, actually, I'm not going to leave that. We'll learn at the event. It's a big freaking deal. And then you get recurring affiliate commissions. Here's another great thing about this. Because the MLM model and people are on a recurring thing, most affiliate traffic is one and done. You buy a lead or you send a sale, a CPS or CPA, you get paid one time and done. And you got to keep generating that traffic. It's a treadmill. Constantly on the treadmill. I'm to drive more traffic to get more leads in. And guess what? If the offer goes down or your traffic goes down, your business goes down. Not when you've got this kind of compensation plan and that resonance effect. You got a minimum from this compensation plan, a minimum of $100 a year recurring. You spread that across hundreds of millions of websites and the potential that's there, dude. This is empire builder. This is an empire builder, guys. Screenshot this, dive into it, understand it, apply it somehow. Come learn. Here's all of it on one screen. And if you want to join me and live, you're super convinced of this already, here's my link, matttrainer.com/live to join me and live. That's my link to refer other people. Now, if somebody in Live has referred to you this video, which I saw some people referring to this, then don't sign up under me, sign up under their link. I don't want to take anybody else because you're still going to be the same team. Everybody's under my team anyway. Because guess what? My wife was the third person that Nick Sarnicola, the CEO of Live, she's the third person he called. Why? Because she's a badass in this industry. She's done very well. Multiple six figures in several network marketing companies. She's done very, very well. She's good at this stuff. She's the ultimate player that you want on her team. So guess what, guys? We're right at the top. That's important. You're at the top of something that's going to billions in sales. It's not a claim. I'm just basing it on what they've done in the past. And with this model, they fixed MLM, in my opinion. Like, I've been one of the most vocal critics of MLM ever. I've publicly stated I hate it. It's a stupid model. It's stupid, stupid, stupid for all the reasons that we talked about tonight. But I'm telling you, these guys fixed it. They've turned me back into a network marketer, which is blowing my mind. But man, I can't miss this opportunity. You guys miss this opportunity? Fine. You miss opportunities, that's fine. Acronym for POOR, P-O-O-R, passing on opportunities repeatedly. If you're poor, that's what you're doing. This is an opportunity. I'm shouting the warning bell, whatever, flashing the warning sign, whatever it is, whatever the cliche is. I'm sounding the bell. Wake the fuck up. The world's changing. The post-Google internet is already here. And in a few years, you're going to be spun around trying to figure out from the latest goofy, shiny object thing that comes out to try to solve this. I'm telling you, you can skip all that shit. Be ahead of the whole world and be in front of this entire thing. Come join me this Saturday. Learn this thing. You can live stream from anywhere in the world and learn how to do this. At a minimum, watch this video again later. Take this model right here. Apply it to your own business. This is the future. It's future-proof, and it's infinitely scalable. And I still have 122 of you on here. So wow, that's pretty good. 3 hours and 11 minutes, and you're still on here. It's pretty amazing. Probably a bajillion questions too. You know what? I've been talking for 3 hours. My voice is roached, so I'm just going to call it this. Call it a night. Here you go, guys. Come join me. By now, you've either seen the opportunity or you don't. You think I'm crazy or what? I don't care. Whatever it is. Even if I am crazy, I'm going crazy after this because this is a huge opportunity. I'm putting all of my resources, all of my attention towards this. And I'm telling you guys, I showed you in a slide earlier, I'm literally working on ICOs that they're launching for 9 figures plus. Why would I do that? Why would I skip doing that? I'm not skipping it, but why would I take any focus off doing that business, which is exploding, obviously, because of the ICO market and the cryptocurrencies? Why would I take my focus on that and go look at this? Because this is bigger. It's the future of everything. All right, enough harping. I'm done. Come join me, guys. You're gonna join me tonight and live, or the next couple of days. I'll get you signed up, and here's our Slack group. You can see. I'm not gonna show you the group, but got a Slack group. We're already working on keywords. I'll see you this Saturday. We're gonna get to work on this. So, with that, I'm out of here, guys. Thank you for everything. Talk to you later.